Ruggedman Baba. What's good? Ruggedman, man. First off, no. First off, we want to say thank you for all that you do. We see it. Thank you. We want to talk about, this was what we didn't talk about when you came on the show because there was no time. Because you came 20 minutes late. But we're not going to that's 20 minutes you owe us that time. You are paying it back now. But I want you to talk about this thing that is going on. We've had a lot of people talk about it. And by the way, Ruggedman, guess what happened to me a few weeks ago? I was doing my live. Yeah, right. They're not born them, but I was doing my live and it didn't cut off at 1 hour. And so we've been going on for like almost 1 hour. So you can't shout out to me anymore. But thank you for joining. And I want you to talk about what's going on now, because there are people watching that are not even Nigerian. So tell us what SARS is, tell us what they're doing, and what you think that can be done to, fix whatever is going wrong.
Basically, there's supposed to be a unit of officers who are supposed to come out when special anti-robbery squad. Yes, special anti-robbery squad. Don't mind me, my mind was somewhere else. SARS is special anti-robbery squad, and they're supposed to come out when there's an issue where the situation is a bit overwhelming for the regular police. That's when they're supposed to come out and then, handle the situation with heavier armor and stuff. And guns and things like that. But knowing some Nigerians, the way they bastardize things, instead of just chilling in their headquarters and waiting for that emergency call, they get on the streets. They get on the streets in unmarked cars, wearing just T-shirts, black T-shirts, some with red lines and, lettering SARS on it. And they just harass every and anybody. And that's the bad one, so, because it's not all of them. I know some of them that are good. Same way I know some police officers that are good. But the bad ones just get on the streets and they just terrorize everybody. There are people there's a guy who walked out on his street to buy suya on his street. They didn't see him until after 5 days. He was just picked up like that for nothing, and he was locked up. He spent that many days because, one, they took his phone. They didn't let him call anybody. Wow. And then he didn't have any money on him to bail himself. You understand? So, and that's what the bad ones do. And then what I need people to understand, people out there to understand, it's not just the special anti-robbery squad. There's the special anti-robbery squad. There's the anti-kidnapping squad. Then there's the anti-cultism squad. Then in Delta State, Ugeli, Delta State, I'm sure you saw the video of a young man who was shot, and then they stole his car. That was done by a unit called Save Delta. That was another unit created by the Delta State Commissioner of Police. He opened his own office called Save Delta, and instead of saving Delta, they end up killing Delta.
Wow.
You understand? So, and all of these men, they're not out to protect and serve anybody. They're just joining the police force. They're just joining the police force to hide behind the badge and the gun to rob people. Basically. I've been joking for a couple of years now when I tell people that have they noticed that armed robbery has reduced in Lagos and in a lot of other parts of Nigeria.
They've all joined police.
I said because they've all joined the police. They've all joined the police because they've realized that no serious repercussion comes from kidnapping Nigerians, torturing them, beating them up, shooting them, and then sometimes even killing them. There's no serious repercussion that we see. The officer that shot and killed Kolade Johnson in cold blood last year, the case is still in court, being adjourned every day. You understand? But if it's one guy now that stole bread and they caught him, or a young Nigerian that they will see a white man's picture, a white woman's picture, they will just automatically take it that you're trying to scam the white man. They will just take you straight, take you to court, charge you to court, sentence you, and that's it. Some of the funniest things I've ever heard. A guy was stopped, illegally stopped, detained, illegally searched his phone. They saw Jose Mourinho's picture. You know Mourinho now, Spurs coach, and they said he's trying to scam the white guy.
This is a coach now.
He's a coach, football coach. He said he's trying to scam him. They give you any, sometimes. Some of the excuses, some of the reasons they give are so stupid that you wonder how such dumb people get to join the force and be given a gun. You understand? They will just stop you on the road illegally. It's time. And when you talk about what people should do, I see what's been happening. I'm not a violent person unless I have to defend myself. I'm not a violent person. I'll not tell anybody to be violent. Like I said, unless I have to defend myself. But then it has gotten to a stage where we need to defend ourselves, because if you check it, no governor, no senator, no local government chairman, even the president is not saying anything about police brutality. And it's been going on for years. So we, the normal people, are left to ourselves to they just throw devils. They just throw us in the lion's den, and then we're just there. Sometimes if you complain too much, they will even hold you, arrest you for complaining. There's a guy in Delta State called Harrison Gwamnishu. He's called Harrison Gwamnishu. He's been doing what I've been doing in Lagos. He's been doing it in Delta State. He's been, getting a lot of these SARS and all this other, not just SARS, a lot of all these policemen. He gets them arrested when they, extort people and illegally arrest people. I think it was sometime last year or early this year, there's this officer who they illegally arrested a young man. He didn't have money. They didn't find anything incriminating on him, but they threatened him at gunpoint, and then they made him borrow money from his bank. The guy had to borrow money from his bank to pay them.
Wow.
But then Harrison got involved, got the whole transaction, everything, got the officers arrested and everything. Then the case was transferred to Abuja. Harrison went to Abuja. This officer came to Abuja. And then, lo and behold, the same, the person, and this is where sometimes I fault Nigerians. When you're fighting for them, some of them can be so stupid. I'm sorry, I have to say this. Some of them can be so stupid and lily-livered. The case was brought to the police, to the proper police officers and everything. Now, when it was time for the guy who was extorted to step forward, the guy didn't show up. He was probably afraid, which I understand. But come on, there's a human rights person there fighting for you. You approach him in the first place. Now he's stuck his neck out. He's at the station. Everybody is involved. Now you don't show up. The funny part is this same officer now, because the victim didn't show up, this officer, you will not believe, had the guts to write a petition against Harrison, who reported him for extorting and illegally arresting somebody. He now wrote a petition against the Harrison. They now took the case to Abuja. Of course, when he got to Abuja, Abuja threw the case out immediately and told him to come back to Lagos. Told the officer, warned him, told him to go back to Lagos and withdraw the petition, only for them to get to Lagos, and they detained Harrison. The guy was trying to use police gragra. Probably he had other bad eggs there. He was in Alagmo. They now detained Harrison. They held this Harrison guy for at least 5-6 days. I was on Abuja's case like crazy until day before yesterday, when the federal PRO finally got back to me and said the IG had ordered Harrison's immediate release without a dime being paid. Wow. You understand? But now that officer, I was hearing stuff that he was on Facebook boasting that he has 4 houses, that he's going to sell one of his houses to make sure he follows up the case and they deal with Harrison. Imagine a criminal officer who was caught extorting innocent people, bragging that he has 4 houses. Every day they'll say they're not paying police well. How did he get 4 houses? We're still going to make sure we find out. We go into that. We're going to expose him for who he is, what he is. He thinks he has the guts. Now everywhere don't scatter. 2 minutes everywhere don't bust now. Maybe they banned them now this is the 5th time in the 5th year that they're banning. But the difference is right now, there are a whole lot more of us and we're not going to keep quiet. If you can see, I don't know if you saw the video yesterday. I don't know if you saw the video yesterday about some so-called, imagine the IG banned SARS and the likes just yesterday. That same yesterday, some of the idiots again in Mufti, the IG said no Mufti. No way Mufti, no going out in unmarked cars and everything. They went with an unmarked car to Computer Village to try to illegally arrest somebody.
So is it that they are above the law, or they just don't respond? They've gone.
My dear, that is the same question I've been wanting to ask too, because I do not understand. I do not understand why they do that. I do not understand why they do that. I do not understand how they can just blatantly disrespect the highest ranking officer in Nigeria. I do not understand how they can just disobey him like that and then nothing happens.
No consequences.
No consequences. So as far as I'm concerned, there's a bigger problem than just the DPOs of the stations where these men come out from. Solo, you know, there's a bigger problem. You understand? So, and I will say one of the reasons is, for me, what I see is it's a business now. It's a business. It's a crime syndicate. Forget it. Anything that lasts longer than a year in Nigeria becomes like a normal thing. Anything that lasts longer than a year in Nigeria, trust me, bigger men are involved. That's why it's lasting that long. You understand? So now I believe that these officers who go out on the streets and extort people this way, they have serious backup, and I believe they're delivering money to some other officers higher up. That's the only reason why they're still doing this. That's the only reason why a whole Inspector General of Police will say, get off the streets, and they do not get off the streets.
Yes, you're right.
You understand? I believe that they have people they're delivering to.
Backing them up.
Backing them up. Because I do not see how a police officer will kill somebody in cold blood and nothing will happen. Instead, they will tell us, yes, we're doing internal discipline. We're taking internal disciplinary action. Action who, where? In your. He kills somebody in public. You want to privately prosecute him? How? Bring the idiot out like you bring everybody else out. Let's deal with them. You understand? So basically, it's not about protesting. When I go protest, tire my people. We need to be strategic about these things. We need to find out what exactly we need to do. As far as I'm concerned, I've started like some days ago asking questions. We need to ask the right questions and at the right people. I've been asking people for the past 3-4 days. Has your president, your governor, your senator, your local government chairman, has he said no to police brutality? If he hasn't, why? Ask him why today. Let's start asking all of them. Let's start DMing them. If you have their numbers, call their numbers, text their numbers, email them, tweet at them, send them Instagram messages. Let's put them on the hot seat. Let's call them out. The governor, the senator, the local government chairman, let's be calling them out. Why are you quiet? Why are they killing people in your city and you are quiet? Is it because your children are not on the streets? Is it because you have escorts? So let's start calling all these people out. It's not about the IG coming to say, I ban SARS or IRT or anti-cultism. They banned them 4 times and nothing happened. They came out stronger and deadlier, killing more people. And I keep telling, and I'm saying this, is it until people start killing police? Is it until people start tracing these officers to their homes? Is it until people start tracing them to their homes? They have families too, don't they? They have families now. They have houses. They have cars. Is it until people start tracing them to their houses, burning their houses, burning their cars, and killing them before the government will talk? Because I do not understand it. When it comes to elections, you see them going on the streets to buy corn, going into the market to sit with pepper seller. But every day for the past 4 years, we've been spreading pictures and videos of policemen killing innocent people. And nobody is saying anything. So they can say they want to protest or they want to protest or you want to protest. For the past 3-4 years, I've been directly dealing and helping innocent people get out of jail, get their money back, I've been doing that with no protest, with no calling on nobody. A couple of people have called me here. They come on, let's go and protest. Protest what? All the time I was telling you guys, ordinary to speak up. You guys weren't speaking. And I've been doing everything on my own, jelly, with the likes of Segalink and Harrison and co. Now it has gotten to your domot. Now you want to call Ruggedman to come and follow you to protest. Why? You don't need me. Go and do your own part. I've been doing my own part since. I've been playing my own part. I've been fighting my own fight for the past 3-4 years. So you start yours. You don't need me for now. And then I need to be sure they're serious with their so-called protest.
Protest.
Because Nayamali talked about the protest. He talked about the protest, said everybody is doing audio talking and everything on social media, that we need to take it to the streets. We need to take it to the streets and protest. Then all of a sudden, he now canceled his protest, and then he also did IG Live 1 hour. And that was it. So isn't that him now doing the same audio thing? Isn't that him doing the same audio complaining? He said everybody else is complaining. So I'm not doing all that. I can't join any protest that I'm not sure they will see it through. So I'm doing what I'm doing. I've been doing what I'm doing. So all this one about people coming out now suddenly because they don't reach you at the bottom, and too vex if I not join I'm doing my own the way I've been doing it for the past 4 years. So we need to call out everybody. We need to call out everybody, every local government chairman, every governor, every senator. We need to start calling them out. Social media is powerful. You all need to remember that. Social media is very powerful. When I say call them out, get their pictures, post their pictures and their names everywhere, and say this man has not said anything against police brutality. He has not said anything against police brutality, so he must be supporting it. He's probably making money from it. Call them out until they open their mouth and talk against it and make moves against it.
I have a question. Is it that the Nigerian youth I know it's not like they don't know their power, because we just did Big Brother and they just crowned a king with this same power of social media.
Excuse me. They just crowned what?
Okay, they're king. Okay, let's leave that.
Excuse me, they crowned a contestant winner. Please.
They crowned the contestant winner.
They crowned a winner, yes. That's why when the king, please. Now you are being like them now. They're not. They don't pay attention to things that affect their lives, but they pay attention.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Spend money on things. I don't have an issue with them. They can do what they want to do. Nowadays, I was even telling somebody, look, if anybody now reaches out to me, Ruggedman, help me, and I check your page and I see you are following all these social, all these what they call them, all these reality show people, raising money for. If you're one of those raising money for reality show people, I will not answer you 1 second, because I know people, I know human rights activists who, when they needed money for legal help, legal aid and everything. Harrison needed money for legal stuff some time ago. Over 1 week, he was asking people. People only donated 15,000 naira. For over a week, he could only get 15,000 naira.
Wow!
But when it comes to reality shows, people who are into reality shows that do not know you from anywhere, that are not doing anything to help your life in any way. You will see Nigerian youth, they're ready, they're fighting their neighbors, fighting their friends over people you don't even know. They're raising thousands of dollars for somebody you do not know.
That was even an example of the kind of citizen you should not even want to be, and it's like everything is messed up. But shortly before you came, someone said something, and I want you to address this, maybe from your own point of view. Someone said that, you can't expect people that live in a place like that, barracks, crazy, dirty, it's like a slum. How do you expect people like that to protect you? That we should start by giving them good, pay, giving them good housing, and making them comfortable, and that maybe they won't.
Can I say something?
Say something.
The person that said that, if I knock him,
now me, so
if I give a knock, which one is giving them house? Okay, they should give. Is the government giving us house and good road? Is the government giving us lights? But are we all on the streets stealing? Are we all on the streets stealing?
But we don't have guns.
Okay, thank you. So
power.
the problem now for me is not the officers being given the guns. The problem is with the people giving such people guns.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying, that instead of chopping their money, because you see, if you go to where they live, Rugged, let's be factual. If you go to where these people live, they live like, you can't expect a frustrated person to protect you.
Okay. If you're working in a place where, first things first, before you took the job, did they or did they not tell you the salary? Did you or did you not know how everything is? You know.
You signed up for it, yes.
You signed up for it. You signed up for it. You knew already that the accommodation was messed up. You knew there was no life insurance, no health insurance. You knew at the top were chopping the money. So you only enter the force for one of two reasons. One, to go in there, protect and serve, and do your job. Or two, go in there so that you can use the gun and the uniform and rob and steal and make money. So if you're doing the first one, God help you. Try your best. Be ready for it. Tighten your belt, because it's what you signed up for. But if you're not going there to do the second, which is to rob and steal and even kill, then you're even a bigger criminal than the person that gave you that gun. People like that should be shot, not just sent to jail. They should be firing squad. Which brings me to this level, to me saying, look, accountability. Nobody's being held accountable for anything, and it's not just in the police force. It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
I will not lie to you, Bookie. Right now, Nigeria is one of the most lawless countries you will ever see.
Yes.
Nigerians are the most criminal-minded idiots on earth. I will say this. I'm saying it because I'm a Nigerian. 80% of Nigerians are criminal-minded. The first thing a Nigerian thinks of, some Nigerians think about when they see you, is how they can get something off you. If they tell you this phone is 29,000 naira, normally, if a Nigerian tells you it's 2 million and you agree, he will not tell you he was just joking. He will sell it for you at 2 million.
Yes.
Now you fall for it. Now you goka.
Yes.
No dignity in labor. No, nothing. No respect for any job or anything. Do you know how many people die at hospital receptions because they don't have 200 naira or 1,000 naira to buy card? A human life is worth nothing to a lot of Nigerians because of that money. All they want is the money. They won't even say, let's treat this person first. They won't even say, let's treat this person first. At least it's somebody that's alive that can go and hustle for money and come and pay you now. Instead, a supposed medical professional will sit or stand or be walking past and watch a human being like himself lying down on the floor, crying, moaning, and dying, and they will not lift a finger.
You have to be heartless, yes.
Thank you. And that's the same way a Nigerian man with a gun called a police officer will bring out the gun, cock it, and shoot another human being and not think about it because the human being didn't give him 100 naira or 50 naira or 10,000 naira. That's a heartless person. You understand? So if they do not start treating these officers like the criminals they are, this will not stop. You can ban from today till tomorrow. It will not stop. And then again, if the people themselves now do not stand up and fight these people, it will not stop. I saw a video today now. Some boys, they were hitting a so-called police officer wearing a blue tracksuit and not even looking like, he looked like somebody that just, some young man that stepped out of his house listening to music. In fact, like he was going to shoot a rap music video. He was wearing a blue track top, jeans, white shoes, and carrying an AK-47. Who would think that was a police officer? And that's how a lot of these rogue officers look. And they're everywhere. Now people can't even walk. You can't walk from here to there. Nobody's at peace. Parents are at home. Their children go out. Their minds are not at rest until their children come back home. Why? Are we at war? No. Instead, we're hiding, dodging from people who are supposed to be protecting us. And then some Nigerians are online. They can't do one thing to help even the people fighting for them. Instead, they're following reality show. I don't have a problem with reality show. Follow it too. But if you're a reality show follower and you come to me for help, I'm sorry, I will not help you. I'm saying it again. I will not help you because you're not helping me. I'm not being paid. Nobody voted me into any office. I'm just risking my life because it's the kind of person that I am. Yes. But knowing Nigerians, they will take advantage of you. They will milk you until when they see they can't get anything from you again, they move to the next man. That's a typical Nigerian for you.
Wow.
It's just me being very straight. I don't have time to be messing around with anybody again. Maybe no vex.
No, you're very on point, because the reason why I told everybody to copy you, I said copy Ruggedman till he sees it, even though I told you before I went on, because this is the kind of passion that we need. And like you said something, you said that they would not support the one person doing good, but they can support causes that don't make sense. Is there a problem with the Nigerian youth? Because the first thing we talked about one time, was that maybe they don't know the power that social media, the keyboard they have. But now we know they know the power. It's just misplaced priorities.
They know the power, but they just don't want to use it in the direction that it will help their lives. Some of them just want the quick fix. They want to be happy now. So they just, oh man, I don't want this trouble. Let me just watch this show. Let me support this show. Oh, king. We have a king now. We are following this person. We are following this person. The person you're following does not know you. You are following this person. Some will buy car for the person. Some will give house to the person. But meanwhile, oh goodness Lord, I just saw a governor today now gave some millions of naira and a house to Lekon. I'm happy for him. But please, somebody should help me ask that governor that what did he give the best student from his state? What did that governor give the best student from his state? What did he give the best student from his state? Instead, he too is following reality show. I still posted something a couple of months ago, was it last month? 4 boys from Futo who designed a drone. There's no GoFundMe for them. There's no support for them in any way. There's a young man somewhere in the north who designed a ventilator at the beginning of COVID. No GoFundMe account was open for him. No support of any kind. There's this young boy, the last person I posted, this young boxer. He's 12 years old, Sultan Adikoya. I even went to see him last weekend. I went to watch him train in Abia, supporting him how I can. No GoFundMe for him. No support for him in any way. People who are doing positive things that can affect the lives of everybody. Nobody is supporting them. But you're fighting with your neighbors, your friends, your sisters over people in a reality show that do not know you and that might never know you. Some of them, their mothers don't have cars, their brothers and sisters don't have cars, but they will join their friends to donate money to buy a car for a total stranger. Idiots.
So what do we do? How can we change that mindset?
The mindset is up to you, Bouquet. I know myself. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I am. I know what I'm trying to achieve. I know what I've been achieving. So what you young people, what everybody should ask themselves is, what are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to do? What are you here on earth to even freaking do? What do you want to be remembered for? What is your purpose? Is your purpose to be jumping around social media constituting a nuisance? Because that same social media that you're constituting a nuisance, that's where the likes of Linda Ikeji, Instablock, Tunde Ednut, even Sam Clef now, they all came up from using social media, building empires. But you are on there every day as a constituting nuisance, insulting people every second. You understand? So what are you doing? If you're not, even if you will not help anybody else, use your sense and help yourself. When I say help yourself, look for something to do. Look for people who are doing things to help your community. See how you can support. Even if you can't do it, see how you can support. There are people in different states right now who are doing what I do. There's Yemi Fash in Akure, Ondo. Harrison is in Delta State. I'm in Lagos. Segalink is in Lagos. Deji is in Abuja. They're different people. All these guys are just risking their lives, helping people. But once in a while, you still see the same Nigerian youth that were doing all this for. They will turn around and start insulting us.
Yeah. Yes.
You understand? They will turn around and start insulting us. Sometimes we'll talk. They will just say bullshit, bullshit, blah, blah, blah. You see them on every other person's people on the timelines of people who aren't doing shit for them, physically, personally, or realistically. But when they need help, they will remember us that they don't even give a fuck about. So who is the fool? So everybody should think. Because right now, this whole SARS thing, they banned it 4 times. This is the 5th time. How are we sure it'll be any different? So what are you doing to make this one different? Are you going to stand up and actually fight? And I don't mean audio fight. I don't mean protest. Oh, this is your protest now, Nasabi. There are organizations now, there are people now who are standing up, speaking up. Citizens gather. Somebody, what was it he posted? There was someone who posted something on Twitter yesterday that what was it he said? That all these things are just happening. People are just here. We're supposed to protest. You were supposed to take it out of Twitter. I said, please, before I even talk to you, kindly post a picture of yourself at either one of these rallies or protests, and then we can continue talking from there. The guy didn't say anything again. Keyboard gangsters, they're everywhere, but they will never do anything when it comes to. You understand? So this is different. This is 2020. This is a different year anyway. That's why it's different. But then why another reason it's different is because we have more people who are fighting for you. Just give yourself, try and be sensible for once in this 2020. And look for organizations, look for people who are fighting the good fight and support them. I'm not saying buy me a car, buy anybody a car. Ask them what they're doing and see how you can key into it. I have people now who are into IT and stuff. They're all coming to me now. Some of them that have sense. They're sending messages asking how they can be part of this whole thing. And we're building what we can build, and we're doing. The police bill. Okay, now the police bill, we've been pushing the police bill for close to 3, 4, 5 years now. The president finally signed it this year.
What is the police? What is that bill? Tell us about the bill.
The bill, I don't know all about it, but basically the bill still has to do with reforming the Nigerian police. It has to do with funding the Nigerian police proper, like you said, with accommodation, health insurance, life insurance, and things that will make their lives okay, that will make them love the job they're doing. And we pray, I know it will take time, but we pray it takes that spirit of I must rob, I must steal, I must collect bribe out of them slowly, because you're being paid well. And then it also involves situations where if a police officer is caught committing an offense, it's not just that officer that will suffer for it. The officer and his DPO will suffer for it. So
accountability. Accountability. Yeah.
So it's not about, oh, is that my officer that did it? Take him or me, I didn't know about it. But most of us know that most of the times the DPOs know about it.
Yes.
But because they don't get roped into it with the offending officer, they continue with it. So this time in this bill, it will affect everybody involved, including the DPO.
Wow.
You understand? And then also the parts that Nigerians now picked up and then started adding their own that is not in there. All of a sudden, I was seeing that President has signed a bill that the police can now arrest you anyhow, search your phone, and do this. That's not anywhere in that bill. The parts they picked up was that the police has the right to arrest you if they suspect you of anything or they have probable cause. Arrest you, not so. They said arrest you. So meaning they can arrest you, meaning AKA detain you, and either take you to the station. The proper way is arrest you, detain you, arrest you, take you to the station, follow due process, book you, get a warrant to search you, search whatever they suspect. So if it involves your phone, they will get a warrant and do that. And all of this with your lawyer present. That's what that law is about. That same law, if you Google the UK police bill, it is in there. The law is not a new law. It's been there since. It's been there since. It's part of the old ones that were added to this new police bill. But it has not. It didn't say anything about the police can search your phone. But Nigerians are just throwing that in there just to talk. A lot of times Nigerians will never. They will say Google is your friend, but they never use it. They only use it for reality show and for babes and for Kelika. That's about it. Emma, you know.
You and this reality show.
Yeah, well.
I know how it can be annoying. I want to say something. This is a little bit, it's a little bit of a, digression, but I saw something in a documentary and it really broke my heart. So there was this guy on CNN or some show here in America, and he was talking, they were talking about how do you guys recruit people into the FBI and stuff like that, and he said that usually their best recruits are criminals, that if they see that you did something, that was, how did this boy do this? Maybe move money from, they hire you, they now say that this person can work with the FBI. So they hire you. So he said that they hire you.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
What the person did that made them hire the person shows that the person has sense. The person is smart.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm going.
The person has a high IQ. Not that Nigerian own.
No, don't.
Yeah, this police. They beat this guy. Beat the guy, black and blue. Let us hire him. That's not it.
Wait, first, let me finish what I'm saying. This is not about police. This is a different tangent completely. So the guy now said, he was talking, it was interesting to me. And then he said that usually the reason why people go into crime and all that is because they're hungry, they're poor, they lack. He said, however, they had a very peculiar case with a Nigerian. As I had Nigeria like this, my antenna, he said they had a particular case with a Nigerian. This is a long time ago. They hired him because he did something really intelligent. They hired him, give him this, give him, like private jet to fly anywhere once a year with his family, paid him well and everything, just so that he won't have to think about that. Because the reason why people do stuff like that is because they're hungry, they're in need, and they lack, right? They said this guy started to give so what he's supposed to do, FBI, whatever, they'll give the code. Yeah, they have codes to everybody's house. Oprah's this one's, they have everything. This guy will start giving code to his, sorry, I know you're Igbo, but that's what the guy said.
But it doesn't concern me.
He said he will start giving code.
A criminal is a criminal, whether it's Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Indian, alien. That's it. Am I the one?
They said he will start giving code to Oprah's house, to his friends. This guy, he's not hungry anymore. So he starts to give the code out, and then there were robberies and everything. And finally, after years, they traced it back to him. And he first denied it until they, Americans, they will never catch you like this. They will catch you like this, so they watched him and caught him. So the guy said something that really broke my heart at the end. He said, I don't know what it is about Nigerians. It's like the hunger to just keep doing. So I want you to, of course, I swear I'm from TV. I swear. But I want you to talk, because we're now establishing that if we buy houses for these cops, for the policemen, give them food, give them that, maybe it will reduce. Could it be really that there's something in us that just likes to do these things, or when they provide all these things for them, it will reduce the
Okay.
You called me 3 times.
A thief is a thief, whether rich or poor, whether hungry or full. A thief is a thief. So there are people who have been caught stealing because they were needy, and when they were given what they needed, they stopped. Those ones are the ones who are not criminal minded. They were just pushed into it. by this condition, by life. This our brother you're talking about now, who was made, he was given everything, including private jet to Lodi. He still continues
they didn't dash
doing
in they didn't dash in private jet. He could go anywhere once a year with his family. Yeah.
You understand? So that one is a thief. It's not and it's not every Nigerian. You see, the same way you have bad people in Nigeria, you have good ones. It's the same way you have bad Americans, good Americans, bad Indians, good Indians. It's just a human thing. It's either you're good or you're bad. That's just about it. It's not who you meet that you should deal with. That's why I tell people. I was online back in the days, all these chat groups, and then there was a lady, they're obviously white. When I said I was Nigerian, she said, "Oh, Nigerians are scammers. They fraud people." Da, 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 da. And
we hear that every day.
I said, "You know why I'm laughing?" She said, "No." I said, "You know that it's mainly greedy people that get duped." I said, "You know, a lot, like at least 60-70% of the people who get duped are greedy, because somebody you do not know from anywhere sends you an email that he's Prince Ojugu Bagagbo and that his father owns oil wells, and the oil that goes for 10 million, he will give it to you for 2 million. And then you now quickly rush and send money to Prince Obodo Gadagbodo. Are you not stupid? Are you not greedy? That means you also want to steal. So you're also doing something illegal. So it's not about, it's just about the person, basically, for me. It's about the person. The same way we have all these bad officers doing these things. I know some great officers who do not stand for, who do not take nonsense. You understand? So it's not about, don't just say all Nigerians. It's not all Nigerians. It's
I know that. I know that.
It's just that bad news. You know, I know you used to do fraud too that time. Now you're better.
No, okay. You know what? Let me tell you. Remember when I started singing? Remember when I had bodyguards? And all of you used to say, "Well, what's wrong with this one that she has bodyguards?" Do you remember that we would go for events? I had bodyguards. Do you know why I had bodyguards?
You always carrying dollars?
No, please. Okay. I saw, this is about the police system now. So I saw this armed robbery and I recognized one of the boys, and stupid me. And I said, how far now? You know, I mean, like, so I know.
Wait, hold on. You recognize one of which boys? You recognize one of the robbers?
Yes. So my sister, I went to vacation in my sister's house, and they came to rob. So my sister is very funny. She has a supermarket, so she has this safe, and the money will just disappear from the safe, like 1 million naira, 2 million. So a prophet said she should put these palm fronds and stuff on it. So I came in from Lagos. And, you know, I was like, because it's a really cool place. I said, let me just chill. She said she's going to church. So this was a Sunday morning. She went to church. And by the time, you know, I was there, I knew I was the only person in the house. I just saw a shadow, like shadows walking. And I was like, what? You know, so I went out and I saw armed robbers, you know, and I was like, he was the manager for the supermarket that my sister had fired, you know, so I saw him. I was like, how far now? So I talked my way. That's how I know I'm talented, more talented. I spoke my way out of it. And, you know, I said, you know what? You guys rob, do whatever you want to do. I know, you know. And they were like, the guy, when he saw me, was walking straight towards me. I knew this guy, this was the end. But I just started, hey, how far now? You and my sister, you guys are fighting. I just canceled it like that. And I left, and they left. Do you know, we reported to the police, and they came to carry me in the house, to go and carry the guy. So I was like, I don't have to go. You know the guy, go to his house. I was there with them. No, I'm serious. I went there with them to the boy's house. Oh, yeah, where is the boy? After I meet, I was now pointing. That's the boy. So they carried the boy. He was in the police station. They sentenced him. And, you know, after like months and months, they moved it to Abuja. They rigged it. The boy disappeared. They just called me. But boy, it disappeared. I said, hey, Chineke. And I was singing. So I had bodyguards that were guarding me, because anything could have happened.
Yeah.
But my point is, why is it the training for the policemen that is wrong? Because that was really wrong. You protect a witness. You don't carry me. You have to go. I was almost even getting in trouble because I wasn't going with them to the boy's house.
Yeah, because you see,
Segalink is here.
In the house.
Segalink.
Maybe you should stop talking to me and talk to Segalink. He will tell you everything you need to do.
After you, I'll talk to Segalink.
Oga Sega, don't go. I need you to enlighten people a bit more about the bill, because he was very
Okay, then let's talk straight about the bill. Let's leave gist. He said no.
So, Oga Sega,
how are you? I am very well, thank you.
What is the secret? What is the secret? Your youthful elixir. You're not sharing this thing. You keep looking younger. You keep looking younger, and we keep having white hair over the
vampire teeth.
Yeah, I can see. How is everything?
Fine, thank you. So I want you to put your voice to this, because we've been talking as laymen since. We've just been talking. What is it that needs to be done? People have come to say, if they give policemen better accommodation, better housing, maybe this. People have said the family units, they should train. What can be done? Because Rugged said something that was really key. He said that nothing thrives for so long without a godfather. And I think that is key. What is your opinion on all this that's going on?
Yeah, it's a very complicated thing, and I must say that I commiserate with the police officers who joined the force simply to serve their nation. And it was until after they got into the system that they realized that the system wins all the time, just like in the casino, the house wins all the time. And the things that you hope and you felt that you're going to achieve for joining the police, is actually going to be turned around by some systemic forces that has designed the system to fail. Now, the police itself, right from the beginning, was set up not to cater for the lives of the people or property or anything, but to keep the people in power away from the savages, as the case may be. So from the constabulary design, which the imperialists used to set up the police to turn us against ourselves, because it was cheaper to use Nigerians as police members of the police system, because we feel very important to oppress our fellow men just to appease the imperialists. And exactly what police are doing now. They are suffering in the same thing, but they are oppressing their fellow men, just to appeal to the people in power for promotion or for some other things. But at the end of the day, you see, you find out that if you give the police officers $1 million, $100,000, $1 million as salary, they will still stay on the street and steal. Why is that? Because, of course, it is never about the money. There are rich people who are very miserable, who commit suicide. If you go to Abuja, you see a lot of people who drink Benelin with codeine. They put it in their pocket and all. It's not that they are poor, they are miserable. So it's not about money. Now, for the police system, what they need is, according to Maslow's hierarchy of need, they need self-actualization. You know how it is when you are doing something that you love. It keeps you alive.
Yeah. Yes.
It makes you feel healthy. You look forward to something. You're a part of something that is bigger than you. So that way, you're committed to it. There's hope for the future. Even if the salary is not there, you will want to be a part of it. People who join cults, let me give you an example. People who join cults, they are not paid salaries. But the fact that you are in something, you are in groups, if you are from Yoruba land, there's always that identity, that thing that makes you feel a part of something. Police don't have that. There's no hope. So they believe that if they can only steal to get going, I think to just make the day pass, they do it for the fun of it. And over time, it became a culture. Now, impunity has been a culture for over 90 years. In the police infrastructure or system is over 90 years old. Now, the surprising thing now is that at some point in the police, every time we have a military interregnum, we have a military incursion into our democracy, the police will be punished. They will degrade the police. They will ruin them. They will lower them. As in, they are the first to go. Military don't like the police. So there have been a rift with them, for a very long time. So they will destroy the police. So every time the civilian rule comes back, the police will strive to want to come back. But they are always relegated somewhat by political forces, because most of the leaders in the democracy are just military men who remove their uniform. So they still feel the same way about the police. So the police has always been a victim of the system. And if the entire police system is a victim, you can imagine those components who are within that structure. So right now, we don't have these police officers of the same rank earning the same salary. We don't have police officers that came in together in the same rank. They don't get promoted unless you are willing to do the impossible or connect yourself with some impunity of some sort that will make you have promotion. People that you enter the system together might be promoted 3 times within the same year if they deliver to the people that they are connected with. Why you, who used to be their senior, in some cases even your junior, somebody who's 3 years your junior, 4 years your junior, will become your boss overnight because he has done some despicable things that you can never even imagine doing. And we have all those systems there. So there are people in the system with pent-up anger who knew that, man, I can never go forward. So these are some of the things that they are dealing with. Apart from the fact that they don't have housing, their family is, the way they live, your dog cannot survive there. Their family have no hope. Their children don't go to good schools. Their wives hates them because they don't bring anything home other than coronavirus. Yeah. There's nothing, no PPE, no nothing, no consideration. During the last lockdown, we were making arrangements for police officers to at least not go home with diseases. Give them masks. Let them take food home so that they don't have to rob to do this. I am not justifying what they are doing. I'm simply walking in their shoes.
Why? The reason, the roots. Yeah.
At least the roots. Now, that's aside. When they tell you that a policeman is going for training, it is as good as saying going to jail for punishment. They will have to go with mattresses, buckets, calabash that they will use to scoop water. In some cases, some people will carry water. Because most of the trainings of the police, they are located in centers that were deliberately orchestrated to develop the hometown of the IG or the hometown of whosoever that is in power. So they are always in remote places, long away from civilization. And they will pack all these officers there to go and suffer for God knows how many. And there are certain stages you get to. When you become CSP, for example, the training of CSP, the training of whatever, from CSP upward, is the same training all over again. So it's punishment when they say they're sending you for course. So when you see all these things, and when there are opportunities out there, it doesn't open to the police officers you see on the streets. The bosses, the senior ones, they will grab it. These foreign travels, this, that. If you are not lucky enough to be at the EOD department, those ones that defuse bombs and the rest, those ones still have opportunity to travel because of the delicacy, complexity of their work. But other ones, training is punishment because they will never have slot for foreign trips. And those senior ones that get foreign trainings, the moment they go and they become AIG or they become what have you, and there is a new IG being appointed, if that new IG is going to be a junior that will be given double promotion to get to that level, they will have to cannibalize all of them. They will push them out of the system, retire them, because your junior cannot become IG while there will be insubordination. So all the people that we have been training with money, grants, and all of what have you, they get trained and they have to end up retiring with all the knowledge. So what we have been doing is we have 2 institutions, Social Intervention Advocacy Foundation and IPSPR, which is like an institution where we bring in all these trained former CP, former this, former that, who have been well trained, who can give back to society, bring them into that network so that we can begin to use them to train these new officers and all. But before we start doing that, we need to pass laws. There's no reform that comes without you having what is called legislation. And the legislation is and before you can have legislation, there need to be political will. In other words, carry the people along. Let them know the implication. So that by the time you will raise our voice as one, our reps, senators and reps, they will see the need to vote for that bill because they will see the common ground already established. End Sars Reform Police NG campaign is one of the most formidable campaigns in Nigeria's history. We have never kept the same narrative for long. BB Africa will come into disappear. Whatever it is that trends today will never be seen again. But for the first time, this is the fourth year, going to five years that we've been talking about End Sars. And the narrative is smooth and it's direct and it's always relevant, and they have been they've made it real because people can see themselves in it. They've owned it. It is not mine. It belongs to Nigerians. A lot of people have changed their name to End Sars. Musicians are singing about it. People are printing shirts on it. There are people painting their house about it with it. You know, so why? Because they've seen themselves in it. They have identified with the campaign. They know how it affects them. Meanwhile, some police officers who are benefiting from bloodletting, they see this campaign as an attack on them because they don't want the impunity to stop. And citizens know that with this, if this thing is done right, if all our laws are implemented, we have the Administration of Criminal Justice Act of 2015, which begins to democratize the police somewhat, making sure that people are not arrested in lieu of another. People are not violated, their rights are not violated, they are not kept in detention for beyond 48 hours, and they cannot, be forced to write statements unless their lawyers are present, all these things. But because the Police Act is still reading 1943, the police manual, standard operating procedure, is still tyrannical.
Ancient.
There was this tussle between Administration of Criminal Justice, which is about the entire criminal justice system, and the one that actually guides it.
Network behavior.
Call it. No, the word institution, it means erect, it means rigid, it means cast in stone, it means immovable. You understand? So every time you're engaging in institution, it's a difficult thing because people there, they don't want things to change. Remember, if you go to your university now, you will still find that the notes that your lecturers used to graduate is the one they used to teach you. Is the one that you will use eventually to teach other people if you come into that system, if they allow you to come and teach. If you try to innovate, they won't let you come in. So institutions always are rigid, which is why we're churning out people who don't even know they are right. We're churning out people who can't read 2 tweets before they start screaming, grammar, And so so at the end of the day, you'll be wondering what kind of education do, because without education, really, you cannot imagine, you cannot live, you cannot travel in your mind. They said an enlightened mind travels to destinations before life gets to that destination.
An enlightened mind travels to a destination before life gets to that destination.
That's why France is where they are.
Network behavior.
You understand? But in Nigeria, our thinking is mostly primitive, because even those who can think, they will not want to think lest they are ostracized from the national cake. There are people in places who are professors of law, people who are educated, people who are enlightened, who will always say what the illiterates want to hear so that they can keep their office. We have people in the police structure who are learned, who have traveled, who have been sponsored by taxpayers' money, who will never stand for the right thing. Because the moment they start doing the right thing, there will be a target on their back. Look, I've been there. I've been in the system. I've seen things. I've been on the street. I've dined with other ranks. I know what these people are going through. Unfortunately, they cannot protest. You see, so they are suffering in silence. So with this, it has led to, and some of them have bullet wounds that they have not even healed from. You understand? So with that, they have this pent up anger. They cannot protest, and at the same time, they cannot be good. You see, human beings themselves are contradictions. We can either be good or bad, depending on the influence. Now, if you're in a system where impunity becomes a culture, and the system is the one molding you out of, if you never afford to be good. If they don't poison them, they will plot something against them. They will get them out of that system, if not jail them for something they've not done. So with that, they just have to be bad in order to survive. So which is why when people who are supposed to be in power, people who are supposed to be the head of certain the hierarchy of the police, come out to tell you they are just few bad eggs, it means that they are part of the bad eggs. It means that they are reinforcing that, because I do not see why something under the military, a program under the military rule 28 years ago, SARS, which was supposed to fight armed robbery and some other crimes under military rule, where human rights is not even in the picture, will be maintained and will be kept in 2020, and they will be defending it as at the expense of a 90-year-old institution that in a country that is 60 years old, that is marking its 60 years anniversary. What exactly are you celebrating? Where is the freedom? And at the end of the day, all these problems, all these things that we are doing, we're only doing it because of our children, because of generations unborn, because of our parents didn't fight for anything. They waited for their pension and they were heartbroken and they died heartbroken because government did not keep up their word to them. They allowed them to keep quiet. They were more or less a slave under local imperialists. And they handed over all those problems to our generation with the hope that we too will be meek, collect salary, pay NEPA bill, rear children who will be docile as well, and they hand over the problem to them. Hand it over. Until the West decide to recolonize us. And we have decided not to end up like that. Never. We're saying we are not going to, I will not look into the eyes of those pretty children, whether mine or others. Because even if you don't care about others, remember, if you take care of your own children, are you going to, what about... Are they not going into the world? They're going into the world. You're going into the world to see other children, exactly. For the sake of our own children. We have to protect everybody. So I don't care about the insults. I don't care about those who doesn't understand me yet. In future, they will. All the dead people that we are quoting today, in their days, nobody understood them. In their days, they were the mad people then. In their days, nobody even valued what they are bringing to the table until they put an indelible mark in the sands of time, and people now began to talk about it years long after they are gone. Which is why I always believe that we don't die. If you actually know purpose, if you have found purpose, you will never die. Because you have found something that will make you live forever. Yes. Even if you are no longer living in the flesh, the cause lives on. Yes. And the cause lives on. So which is why, whether I wake up from my bed or I don't, End Sars will live. And nobody will give in to any propaganda, whether in the name of reform SARS, whether in the name of change hairdressing, whether in the name of change uniform or add title to it. I remember a time ago, I was fighting Ruggedman heavily. I said, why would you go and join a stupid campaign where they claim that they are reformed themselves by adding a name to their chest? I said, do you know by tomorrow you will regret this action? Do you know that by tomorrow you will see that nothing has actually changed because they're just moving furniture around? Yeah. It is very easy for me to easily see. Look, there's things I've done in this country that politicians that are older than me cannot even achieve till they die. Is it about the merger of APC? When we are trying to make sure that we don't have one political party alone in Nigeria, that we needed an opposition? Is it about the contribution to the criminal justice system in terms of whether immigration and the homeland security? Is it about what? I'm not a young man. Is it about 1,400 businesses that we set up? You know about Media? You know about ITV? I'm the technical director of ITV. So we have done stuff. Because for a man to be caring about society, he must have paid his NEPA bill. Yes. But of course, you can't finish all those things. You have to think. Apart from sending my children to good schools and paying for whatever, what about the future? If I don't fix society, any idiot or any guy who is a victim of society can shoot them down. And that's the end of your investment. Which is why we have to be responsible collectively. In every civilization, what holds the pillars of every civilization is taxation and law and order. And if there is no law and order, those who uphold law and order are the authorities, the closest authority to us, which is the police. And if the police are criminals, then we have a lot of problem on our hands. It's not something that you can wish away by joining their stupid talks of reform SARS. What are you reforming? 2015, they promised a reform. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. If I tell you how many people have died, my sister. And it's not until 2017 that we started taking responsibility. Every time they kill somebody, we take over the case. Thank God for Citizen Gavel and several other collaborations that we have. We take over the case. We join the family to ensure that they get justice. I can't count. And these are not, and they are no respecter of class, religion, or clan or anything. It can be anybody. I will give you an example. 10th August, let me just give you from August till today, 2019 till today. On the 10th of August 2019, in Ijegun, SARS went for an operation. In the midst of engagements there, they started shooting sporadically. He hit a pregnant woman, and that was the end of that woman. Do you understand? Whether the family has gotten justice till today, I really don't know. I remember as at that time, what we did was coordinated and found a way of the CP going to visit them at home, taking care of the ballistics to be able to at least do autopsy, confirm that this is what actually happened. And because there was denial that it wasn't their gun, it was somebody else's gun, this and that and that. Let them do this thing. We monitor the situation, and it takes God knows how many years for them to even convict people. They will hold them in detention for God knows how many years. So these are some of the problems. 21st of August, extrajudicial killing of 2 armed robbers. They were already armed. They were unarmed robbers. They claimed that they stole something. You have already secured them. They are on handcuffs, and you kill them while you are videoing the whole thing. Now, when you see those kind of stuff, it is not about some few bad eggs. It is about the culture that who will catch me.
Culture.
Nothing will happen. And you've been hearing those things across Nigeria. Not that they had a meeting and they agree that we'll keep people and we'll say nothing will happen. It is innate in them. They've been in the system enough to know that I can kill anybody and nothing will happen. At least that's the only rights I can be proud of anyway. Since I don't have secure future, I don't have money, I don't have anything. This gun that I'm carrying is an opportunity for me to be anything that I want. I'm a god. I'm a law unto myself. And that's how they carry themselves. If you see the courage with which they abuse the rights of the people, you will know that that's why Nigerians are saying we cannot differentiate between armed robbers and SARS. We cannot differentiate between Boko Haram and SARS because there is no professionalism any longer. Any politician can easily draft his thugs into the police because he can. He has slots. And he will make sure that they end up in SARS. So that anytime there is need for ballot snatching, he knows who to call. And it will be under the sponsorship of the states. This has been going on for quite a while. And I will not wait until it starts affecting my children before I start speaking up. You understand? So it's nothing about anything personal. You see, no individual in the police is bad or good. It's about the system that allows them to thrive in this impunity. So every one of them that is saying reform SARS in the authorities, they must be held accountable. And I was saying something. I don't mince words. I was saying something. In 2017, when we engaged IGP Idris, I'll be bringing in, allowing Ruggedman to come. I don't want to give a lecture.
No, see, do you know what I'm thinking? Because this video is more than 2 hours. This video is more than 2 hours. I don't know if I save this. Can we start again? Because I really need this saved. I need this saved.
Okay, so what would you want us to take a break? And you
no, I'll cut it off and then save it and then start again and bring you and then bring Rugged. Please, we need to hear these things, and I don't want to lose this video at all.
Okay, so let me just finish this, right?
Okay, yeah, definitely.
How many minutes do we still have?
No, it's going. It's just going. It's just
okay,
going.
All right. So I've told you about what happened on the 10th of August, 2019. On the 21st of August, two armed robbers, alleged armed robbers, were killed in cold blood. Extrajudicial killing. While they are videoing them, they are not any threat to anybody. They have already held them, and they just executed them just like that. 5th of September, 2019. A group of tactical squad operative. Again in Nigeria, anybody that does not wear uniform is SARS. Because we can't even tell them apart, except for us that have been working in the field, that we know who and who did what. Because when a report comes, within 24 hours, we always know who did what. Yeah. We get them arrested, get them tried, return the money. We have recovered billions over the years.
Wow.
Billions. And all our engagements, we cannot even publish the data. Because if we publish it, they will go into this same defensive mode. They are trying to blacklist us. They are trying to defame the police. They are trying to do this. They will see it as an attack. They will be playing defensive. This is one of the reasons why we also don't want to create a parallel organization that will be taking calls and be investigating things. We decided
accountability.
The police. Yes. We said, let us strengthen you. We will work with your organization. Give us one unit. They gave us the CRU, Complaints Response Unit. And we've been working with them. Fine officers. Wonderful people. You understand? So we wonderful officers in that unit. All the First PRO's department. In fact, what we have done in the past 5 years, the police have not achieved it in the past 60 years. What we have done, if you look at the data, the number of calls where we're taking across, how we have been able to map Nigeria to see which states are the hotbeds of crime, of police, and we have all these things. I doubt if the IG has had a minute with this unit since they've started, since he came into office. Not a minute. To even understand the engagement, what is happening, how we are trying to win trust for the police. He has not. And they have every file they submit in terms of report. Some criminals within the system will sit on it and make sure IG never sees it. So when the IG will come out, every time he comes out to speak, he sounds like an illiterate because he doesn't know whatever he's saying does not really match what is happening on ground. Because he doesn't know. And the same way they've been doing to the presidency, the same way, that's how corruption has enveloped the entire system in this country. Because that's why, again, all these political hirelings, those beggars, those online beggars, those moral griots, and those people who are socially maladjusted and, children that has no future and the rest who are in the conundrum and all, who are spelunking through, the system and all, those guys, all they know, you can imagine some of them saying people calling for End Sars are armed robbers. You can imagine that kind of statement in 21st century, where police officers in the UK don't even carry guns, where the people can challenge police officers and say, please, can I see your driver's license? Citizens arrest. Because policing in the 21st century is not driven by guns. It's driven by intelligence. Intelligence-led policing principles, community policing principles. Here, community policing in Nigeria is an avenue to rob the government of money. They just took 13 billion naira for community policing. And they said, what are you going to do with it? They said, I'm going to buy weapons. Where did these people school? Who trained them? Community policing shouldn't cost you a dime. It's just assigning police officers to civic duties so that people can engage them outside criminal investigations and trust them. A policeman that came for my child's naming, who grew up, who taught in my child's primary school, who taught them civics in secondary school, who went to their university to teach them about what the Police Act is all about and everything. Will he see my son tomorrow and call him a Yahoo boy? Because he knows this, he knew this guy from the beginning. And he understands this, and this guy can trust him. If there's any information in the society, that little child who grew up knowing this guy, seeing this guy as a hero, will share information with this guy freely. You don't need a gun. We have been arresting police officers for committing crimes for over 5 years now. Do I have a gun? Do I have a team following me with guns? Do I need ballistic weapons? You mention Rugged's name, or you mention my name to police officers, they sit up and do the right thing. Have we killed any one of them before? Have we harassed them before? Have we oppressed them before? It's all about integrity. It's all about leadership. So what am I trying? Shows responsibility. The hierarchy. If they show responsibility, if they supervise their work, if they act in patriotic manner, the police will leadership. They have something to hope for. They have a view. They have a hope for the future. And with this, they will sit tight because they know they are part of something bigger than them. They will take orders. Not that IG will say dismantle roadblocks and nothing will happen on ground. I will tell you an ugly story. The son of an AIG was accosted in Abuja by some rogue tactical squads. They said he should bring his phone, bring this, bring that, bring it. The guy was trying to tell them, I'm the son of so and so and so. They say, and so bloody what? They beat him up, marched him to the ATM machine, drained his account, and said, go and tell your father. Do you understand? I have seen DPOs calling that my daughter is stranded on Benin Road. Police stopped them and dragged them down. All the attempts for her to call me, she could not reach me. I don't know where to find her to go and look for her. DPO's daughter. So they themselves are feeling the brunt of this thing. They too want this thing to stop. But they cannot voice it out because they are in a regimented environment. So this fight is not just for the civil society, it's for all of us. Because the police are the public and the public are the police. Until we begin to see ourselves as one. Because when this war starts, you live amongst people. They know your wives. They know your homes. They know where you live. They know where your children's school. If this wala starts, this thing that they are pulling, when it starts, none of them, in fact, nobody will be able to wear black in this country. You have a population of 70% of 200 million people being youth. That is the energy of the country. And you are pushing them to the wall. How many are you? 450,000 hopeless souls. 450,000 people who lives amongst the people. And you are hurting millions of people. Do you understand? And these are people who don't have jobs. These are people who, have no hope for tomorrow. They have nothing to lose. And that's one of the reasons why we've been trying to say we cannot rob people from their civic rights of protesting. But we can always try and explain to them that, look, what is the essence of protest is for government to get the attention of, to know how you feel about what is going on, and then to do something about it. But remember, if you protest, they will never sit down at tables with protesters, which is why I'm saying, show your discontent whichever way and be safe, while we advocate. Advocacy is protest in a way. All advocates are activists, protesters, but not all activists are advocates.
Yes.
Because advocates read law, advocates understand what is obtainable, advocate knows who to touch. The acupuncture pod, they know how the system works enough to know how to engage to get results.
Yes.
Protesters will only settle for whatever they say they will do. Oh, they've been protesting, okay, we'll reform SARS, and they change their head, beret. You can't oppress because you are not in the room when that decision was made. Which is what I'm saying. We will be civil. We will not break the law. We will not do anything. We engage them at some levels where they cannot wiggle out of the whole thing. And we have been successful. We have 2 laws now that you see, if we implement the ACTA, like I was saying before, the Anti-Torture Act of 2017, Fundamental Right Proceedings, Police Act of 2020, VAPA Act, which is called Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act of 2015, and the rest of them. You see, these laws alone, if fully implemented, there's no room for SARS. There's no room for any briganded thugs carrying guns. Because they are the Police Act, the new one that the president just passed into law. It specifically, there are 3 major points that it focuses on. Number 1 is accountability and transparency. The police have never been accountable in their history or in their 90-year history. Till today, we don't know the budget of the police. Till today, we don't know if they say the budget of the police is 1 billion naira. If you ask the IG, you probably will not hear 1 billion. He will tell you that we sent in 1 billion. If you ask the minister of this thing, they will say we approve 500,000. If you ask this, they will say we release 200,000. If you, at the end of the day, what gets to the police station is less than 100,000 naira. How do you expect them to fuel their vehicle? How do you expect them to change tires of their vehicle? How do you expect them to power? They don't have lights, so how do they expect to power police station? Which is why they've been robbing people. Ordinary people they don't have. Right now, we pay money to enter police station. Gate fee. You pay gate fee to enter police station.
What?
When you get into police station, if you need to write statement, you will buy paper. If they need to, let's say you need a police report for anything, every table you go to, you will pay. Under normal circumstances, if your phone gets missing and you report it and say you want to track phone, it's supposed to be a free thing, but they will charge you for it. 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 in some cases, minimum of 25,000 naira, and that phone may probably never be found. And even if they're going to find that phone, they will use it to collect money from every single person associated with the phone. Eventually, when they find it, maybe somebody, an innocent person who bought the phone in traffic or who bought it in Computer Village, they'll say, yes, you are the thief that have stolen something. They will arrest all the family of the person, and each one of them will bail each other with 50,000 naira, and then they will say they will charge them to court at the same time. And then when you get to court, there are a new set of criminals, charge and bail lawyers, who will now say, okay, I know somebody who have land who can give you bail. I know somebody who have this. I know somebody who will go and inspect. I know somebody. At the end, they will be paying 500,000 naira over a phone that is not up to 50,000 naira. Excuse me. So we are not talking. You see, people. So when they want to annoy us, they say the social media campaign. End Sars is not a social media campaign. If you see the thesis, the research of End Sars, most of you will not graduate from it in 4 years if you are to study it. It is complex. Go to universities in Europe and all. They are studying our model now. The model of End Sars, which is the conscious revolution paradigm. If you can work in a country where we don't obey the rule of law, where we are ruled by despotic and tyrannical people, then it can work in America. Which is why we are able to advise people within African context, in sub-Saharan Africa and everything, that if you want to protect against your government, if you want to do something, use our model. You will get results. So we have a research work that is being, in fact, most master students and all, we have about 30 or 40 different people writing stuff on different aspects of this, and they have not even exhausted it. But we made it very simple without making it simplistic. Reduce the objective to end SARS. In other words, end the impunity, end the madness, end the killings, end the extrajudicial, killings and the madness generally. Then reform policing. Then holistically reform the policing. And when we say end, we're saying, look, this is a program. I'll give you an example. If today security challenges is happening, we have a security challenge in our state, and we decide to constitute ourselves into vigilante groups. Will there be a time when vigilante groups, members of vigilante groups, will be more important than the landlords or association of the? Because the landlords association is the landlord association. Vigilante groups is just a niche program to address an issue of security for a given period. You don't begin to worship these vigilante group as if they are actually the landlord association. They are not. The SARS are members of the police who are trained as a militant arm of the police. The police under a democracy is not militant. They are equipped for service. They can't be militant. We have the army there. If I look at an army, is not even killing people like our police are killing people. You understand? So I was enumerating the number of casualties that we've been having, at least from last year alone. Let me not even talk about the old ones that the cases are still locked up in court. Or I said on the 5th of September, an artist, a performer, was kidnapped by this tactical squad in Lekki. They robbed him, they beat him, they tortured that entertainer, and wiped out his account. You understand? So that's on the 5th. On the 22nd of February 2020, Tiamiyu Kazim, Remo Stars footballer, he was arrested, was called a Yahoo boy, and he was pushed out of a moving vehicle after they have robbed him. And he died. You understand? 2 weeks ago, a graduate from IMT Enugu, Ifeoma Abaga, or Abugu, she was raped. According to what they alleged, she was raped. She was sexually assaulted. She was killed by personnel in the Abuja unit. For some alleged, maybe she was arrested because they said she was a girlfriend to somebody. I don't understand how this works in the country. Then there was Daniel Slick in Elelenwa in Port Harcourt, who also was shot. Somebody was just shouting, thief, thief, thief. And the guy was like, who are you calling thief for over what? And then decided shooting. And that was it. You see, how do I look at the families of these people and tell them reform SARS? Does that sound sensitive? Reform SARS just like that. And when you hear the reform SARS, they will collect another billion from the government that they are reforming. Then they will add a little badge or flower to their uniform. And then they say they have reformed themselves. And it is disingenuous when you begin to find authorities make this stupid pronouncement as though they are operating in a climb where everybody is an illiterate. You don't tell somebody to be a judge in their own case. Police cannot reform themselves, obviously. They can't say they are guilty in their own case. If reformation must start, it must start from legislation. There's something called Police House Committee on Police Service on Police Affairs. There's a Ministry of Police Affairs. There is a Police Service Commission. Till today, Police Service Commission and Police IG are in court over recruitment. Police Service Commission, they are in charge of recruiting, promoting, and the discipline of police officers. But today, because the IG is responsible for funding their activities, he felt, why should somebody that I'm funding be carrying out something that I'm interested in? Why don't I just do it myself? And he decided to take power into his own hands and usurp the powers and started recruiting people. And this is and our problem starts from recruitment. When you just bring all the rubbish that we have in society, the worst of us, put them inside the police. So without the knowledge of law, an understanding of legislation, and then you expect them to uphold the law. So they kept on creating their own law as they move around and started their own organized crime syndicate. A lot of them have properties, fine vehicles, so many things, have children abroad, in some cases, for stealing from Nigerians, for killing Nigerians. If you go to Akuzu SARS or Abatuano, there are many people that have been killed and they have experienced forced disappearance, that their family can't even tell whether they are living or dead any longer. There are people who came out of rivers, whose body has been dumped in some rivers in the east. Also, so many things that shouldn't be happening in a war-torn country. And you wonder why Nigerian police is the worst in the world for the second year running. And yet, they come out boldly to tell us that they are reforming SARS, that they are not ending SARS. They cannot end SARS. What stops them from bringing these people in, putting them through psychological evaluation, giving them psychosocial support, and then testing them? Anyone that is clean, put them in a special SWAT team to respond to these things, this kidnapping and the rest. At least they certify the fact that, oh, these ones are good enough to do that. Then you begin to train them. That way they will see a proper vision of what is happening. But these other ones that are on drugs, that were cultists before, that have been killing people before, that were armed robbers and the rest, or political thugs, they don't understand what policing is. That's why they can't even wear the uniform. And you want to maintain them? So are you saying that you want to relegate the entire police system for a handful of thugs? I really don't get it. And these people that I thought were intelligent, they are defending this thing with their chests, thinking that they are playing to the gallery in order to sound politically correct to people who have control over their promotion and their retirement. And that's precisely what's happening. Not that they don't know what is wrong. They are just pandering. You see, that's why they say that weak men don't lead. They pander. When you see a leader takes responsibility. A leader confronts stuff. A leader don't care. You're ready to die for what you believe in.
Yeah.
But when you're a weakling, you will be pandering. Well, I don't want to offend this one. I don't want to offend that one. Let me see how I'm going to say this. Let me see. I'm going to. Today now we now realize that we have a minister for youth. Where has he been when they be killing our youth? Today now
who is the minister? Who is the minister for youth?
Sunday Dare is a very gentleman. He's a very gentleman, wonderful guy, easygoing, quiet, and everything. You know, even we challenged him to that. Look, listen, you are the minister for sport and youth and all these things. You should be in the forefront of this. I'm not a minister. I'm a random ordinary citizen. I have nothing to lose.
How does he even get to be the minister for youth if we have never heard about him?
No. It's not by election now. They appoint them. They can.
We are going to start electing you or Ruggedman. Everybody here, we're voting Segalink or Ruggedman for the next minister of youth. No, really, because it's track record. It's track record. We can vote people. See, this was what sorry to cut you. This was what I was talking to Michael about before you came. We have the power to change laws and legislatures. We do.
Everything we're saying now, we have exemplified it. We have done it. Laws, we have facilitated laws, 2 major laws. Even under a government that sees us as an enemy. I'm not a supporter of President Buhari, but he's still my president, whether I like it or not. Yes. Nigeria is still my country, and I still have to protect the seat of the presidency because you don't denigrate your leaders. I've never called him an idiot or called him a fool or called him any names that his followers used to call other people that they don't support. I don't do that. And I have done more for his administration than anybody who is supporting him. He knows this. There are critical things that when they happen, my name will be the first they will call. And I don't belong to any political party. I can't. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a citizen. Yes. I'm a patriot. And I'm also a father. I'm also a leader, you know, in my own right. And I'm also I own an NGO. I own a company. I have people who look up to me. So if I don't take responsibility.
And you have a heart. You have a heart. Oh.
Hello?
Oof. Okay. Yeah.
You said, and
I said, and you have a heart. You are above all that. Because you could be a father, you could be this. If you don't have a heart and a conscience, it's just all, you know.
Exactly. So this is the thing. A lot of people, there are some people I rate as psychological egoists. Psychological egoists are people who believe that every single thing you do, you're doing it because of some fringe benefits.
You know? Yes.
When they see BOUQUI'S, see how many people that are watching this video. Can you imagine? I know she's doing it because of sponsorship. She's doing it because she wants to be popular. She's doing it because of, they do all these things.
Been there, done that.
You know, they do all this, they send us up. And why? It's simply because they are afraid of your influence. Because they are afraid of the voice that you've already had. Because of the platform that you have. You know, they begin to fear what they don't understand. But I keep telling them, I am not going to wear agbada tomorrow in any poster and ask you to vote for me. I am not doing this because the life I'm living now, I am living it as Segun Awosanya. I have never told you what I studied in school. I have never brandished my degrees before you. I don't have all my titles out there. It is just Segalink. And I keep telling you, even that Segalink, we are all Segalink. In other words, I'm showing you leadership examples that you can actually practice yourself. Be a master in your own field. And then you will have you'll be able to say, this is the problem I'm solving in society. It's all about value system. It's all about visible impact. It's all about the ability to do something that will encourage others and ignite something in them to bring out the giftings that they have.
Yes, in them.
So this is exactly what we're doing. So I can't mortgage that. And today, that's why if I were to say I am barrister so and so today, all they need to do is to call the NBA this thing to seize my license. So anytime that I talk, they have a disgraced lawyer. And they use it to distract me and invalidate me. If I say I'm a doctor, so they say seize his license. They'll pay somebody, seize his license, and forge something, say committed something, and then they will say, but now, can you?
If you are nobody, they can't take your nobody card from you.
So I have keep saying, I am no one. A naked man cannot be stripped further, any further. You understand? So unless you see my birth certificate, and if you see my birth certificate, I am still Segalink, at least. If I can't keep Segalink, I will keep Segalink. You understand? If you say Twitter should block me, anywhere I go, people will come there. Because they know that this is a voice that represents their
value. You add value. Yes.
That's the values. Everybody I've worked with over the years, the people I've trained, running into hundreds, including your brother that worked with me in Dove Media and all. He cannot tell you that, no, this guy, no. What you see is what you get. This is how he is. This is who he is. He stands in the gap. He's a leader. He does what he does. And it's not because of any fringe benefits. When we're in Dove, those times, and they were saying, oh, we need to cut costs. We need to fire people. I said, don't fire people. Take my salary. I need these people. I love what they do. They are young people. Most of them have not even gone to university as at that time. It was from that office that they went to universities. And today, if you go to most media companies, there's nowhere you go, you won't find people who have worked with me before. And that's exactly, that to me, that's a legacy. To me, that's an achievement. I don't need to have 52 houses and drive expensive cars, the Lamborghini, and all to be able to show. No, my pride is those people whose lives have changed.
That's your inheritance, yes.
You know, that's the girl. They don't even need to talk to me any longer or speak to me on. Their success is my success. And that's the leader. You are not a leader until you have a successor. Today, our voice is loud. Ruggedman is there. Gwamishri is there. Fashipa is there. We're raising leaders from geopolitical zone. There's no competition. There's no hierarchy. There's no vertical collectivism. In other words, I am not sitting on any pinnacle as an oga. No. Everybody, we are growing laterally. We are all working side by side. Every citizen is important. So don't give me credit for anything. I'm not looking for your applause. If you like, of course, if you like abuse, if you like praise, it doesn't take anything from me. What I'm doing, I'm simply contributing my little quota for the sake of my children. And that's enough. How many NGOs have you seen who ran a campaign for 5 years without collecting grants, without raising public funds? How many? None. And we are still here. And that's what we're doing. We're not begging for arms. We're not doing anything in order to get foreign attention so that they can give us dollars. No. But God is helping us. God is providing for every vision that we have. I cannot count the number of people that we have intervened for who would have died in that encounter. I cannot count the number of money that even I myself probably have not counted before that we have given back to people that they have deemed to have been lost for good, that we have given back to good. So there was a person, a guy, who was held or was abducted, and they were demanding for 20 million bribe.
20 million
bribe. They took 15 million from him, and they were still chasing him for the balance. That they were going to torture him and kill him. When we intervened and we're asking questions, they said the money is exhibit. Exhibit for what? What were you investigating? These are supposed to be an intelligence unit of the police, STS and IRT. It was one of the, because of we now collated all the crimes that they've been committing, and I went to arise. Anytime you see me on TV, know that something is about to go down.
Yes.
I don't appear on TV. I'm not looking for fame. I'm a very quiet person, easygoing. I don't even talk this much on one-on-one. It's when we're dealing with something critical.
Thank you.
We just have to. So every time we do that, of course, that's when they will do knee-jerk reaction and shut them down because we are speaking, because we are exposing them, which is one of the reasons why we don't want to put out data. If you see the data, your heart will sink. You will not want anything to do with this country. This is our police, the closest authority to the people. And yet some deranged felons whose village witches have changed the battery from Tiger to Duracell to control their destiny and not telling us that we're doing. Look, I don't want to get
village witches. No, but honestly, you are doing very well. And are you going to run for president?
No, I am not. I'm not interested.
We will sponsor you.
No, we are pushing new generations of leaders who are going to be enlightened, who are going to raise their own enlightened followers, who are going to, whose energy will combine with our own wisdom to the point where we can raise a new generation that are active, proactive, and are easy to govern, difficult to rule, and impossible to enslave, to deliver the kind of future that we want for our children. What we are doing now is just planting seeds under whose tree we probably will not sit. But at the end of the day, we know there's a tree that is guaranteed in future for our children that will provide them the needed shade. For now, we need to make that sacrifice that our parents never made.
Mm.
You are not living in your mother's house now. Those who have killed themselves over father's property and all, they find out that they can't even use it. They've sold it to banks and they are broke again. You are not driving your father's car now. Because, those are not inheritance. They say a good man leaveth inheritance for his children's children.
For his children's
not money,
children.
Not gold. It is about legacy. Things that people can't. Right now, they can't freeze my account because I have bank with the Holy Spirit. If you freeze, whichever account you freeze, it's not going to stop anything. I don't spend the money that you kill yourself over. So you cannot strip me of my titles. I don't own titles. I'm not a chief. I'm just Sega.
Wow.
You cannot say, yes, they will catch you. They will remove all his bodyguards. I don't use bodyguards. I take Okada like everybody else. I take public bus when I need to. I move around freely. Nobody has ever seen me with bodyguards or anything. I move around freely. And I talk to Nigerians. I'm free. If revolution starts today, nobody will come and bomb my gates. Because I did not steal anything from anybody. Because I'm not showing off anything. Okay? They will know that, look, this is the role this guy plays in society. But there are a lot of people who are making noise today. They have a lot to lose. They are the ones with mansions all over the geopolitical zones. They are the ones with children who are flaunting stuff on Instagram. So they should continue. And we thank God that the missions, the foreign missions are listening to us. They are banning them. They are giving them visa ban. They are going to start withdrawing their children back to the country. So when the thing happens, we'll be in it together. Anything that we need to do to ensure that our children don't face this mandate, we'll give it. So this time around, it's time to introduce them to the real youth of Nigeria. Not those idiots that they are buying for elections. The actual youth of Nigeria, they are getting ready. Continue to deny them of their rights. Continue to oppress them, and then you will hear from them. I can't hold them back. I'm only doing my best to stand in the gap to make sure this doesn't happen. But if you want, if chaos is the only language you understand.
Rampage. A rampage. Oh my gosh.
So
wow. What we need is disciples that raise disciples that raise disciples. It becomes a disciple cycle, because everything you're saying now, we need more voices like you, because the people that are the seeming role models are people that have this fraudsters, and so all the next generation wants to be is, I want to drive a Rolls Royce. I was talking to a young person. She's like 12. I said, what do you want to be? She said, I want to be an influencer. I said, by doing what? She said, no, I don't know. I just want to have followers on Instagram. I'm like,
can you imagine?
But that's not the reason why you're an influencer, because you're influencing with something that you do, but it's all, value. And you're adding value, you're solving problems, you're bringing, it's just so messed up. How can we get voices like yours on because I know you have some platforms that are solid and major and consistent, but we need you on those platforms, because if Mohammed won't go to the mountain will go to Mohammed. I
need to tell you something. Sorry to cut you. We have been doing this investment. We have doctors, Idiaraba, Lasut, and all that we have been training. Because again, it's one thing to graduate with a degree in something. A doctor is not any different from anybody who has a BSc in economics. You just went to school. You have retentive memory enough to gather information and to write your exams and pass it and do practical things based on what you have learned. You are not a genius as such. Medicine is medicine. It's book. You can read.
Yeah.
Okay. But after you have gone to school and you have proven yourself and you have collected
application
and all, how do you apply yourself? How do you understand how do you apply? So we are training lawyers, we're training doctors, we're training professionals. We started with professionals, doctors, lawyers, and the rest. Created classes for them and all. And at the end of the day, we're measuring how they are with their mates. We put them in places also. When they're graduating, we find offices for them where they can have their internship and the rest of them and all. And then we start training them. For the lawyers, we groom them, of course, in what we do. Bring them into the system, give them cases, as in all the things that we're doing, run them through. And then for the doctors, teach them the rules of advocacy. Let them understand that there are certain things that's happening in the medical field that you need to advocate for. For example, coronavirus is killing Nigerians, for example, now. We don't have data. We are not testing enough. So many things is happening, and we're moving our life. You see people now, they use masks as anything. They don't even care about, their safety and their health, because God has been grateful to protect us, our tailless cows, by chasing flies for it. You understand? So we're teaching them things that will prepare them for a future, because a future will come when nobody will be opening their hospital for somebody to come and be doing Yahoo. You understand? They will employ you because there is a value you are bringing beyond. You're not the only one that graduated in your class.
Yes.
So there are other people graduated with you, and you will not all succeed. It's not a course. You will not all succeed, except you bring something different, something unique
to the table. To the table.
That's when they will now prefer you. If you go abroad, for example, because of this country first thing, they will not, no matter how intelligent you are, they will not employ a Nigerian over their own citizen who is paying back.
My certificate was useless. They said, "Where is this from?" I said, "It's one of the we don't recognize it."
You see, and why? Not because they are dissing you, but because they too have. You see, there is a cycle.
Standards.
Standards number one. The universality idea is no longer universality because we have indoctrination here. In Nigeria, it's just indoctrination. You have not been educated. You have been indoctrinated. But there is education. You can't even compete with your peers out there unless you have done extra work. We have worked with what we studied in Nigeria abroad before. We've put in our place. And they keep asking, "Are you sure you schooled in Nigeria?" Because the things you are doing, you're not doing it like somebody from that side of the world. But of course, that didn't tempt us to want to stay there and fool ourselves and say we'll be citizens. Because we have a country to build here. Because one day will come, there will be a Pharaoh that does not know the importance of Joseph. When they will tell my children to go back home, then what do we do then? At 70, I will not be looking for how to come back here and enjoy mosquito and NEPA and be pulling generator when I cannot move. So that's one of the reasons why we have to suffer it here. Because people are asking, why are you still in this country when you have all these things to offer? Why can't you leave the country? I can't. This is my God didn't make mistake by making me a Nigerian. The same way, you're a Nigerian, you're abroad, and you're conversing, you're bringing the conversation back home. You're engaging, you're contributing, and you're fulfilled with it. No money can buy this. Nobody, no sponsorship can pay you back for what you're doing. How many Nigerians? We're not dancing, we're not shaking bomb here now. And you have 400-something people watching. It means that you are.
Oh wow!
You know, that means there's value in the things that you're bringing to the table, and that's a wholesome contribution, which can be compared to somebody standing in front of a police officer to protect another. So there's no one greater than the other per se. We all have our importance in our contribution in this country. Let me let Ruggedman come back so that I don't take all the time in the world.
Thank you so much. This wasn't planned. Did you know since when I've been telling them, copy Segalink? I even sent it to your DM. You were sending me a DM. You were like, nice one. I was reading. I'm like, join the conversation. But thank you so much. And honestly, I'm really interested in this. We're going to talk later to see how we can get, because one thing I've noticed is, and Rugged will know about this, music can drive a lot of stuff. You know, and entertainers that have sense qualify it. They can drive a lot of stuff, you know. So we will work together to see what can be done about, you know, all these things. I'm really, really interested in this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Something
Thank
is
you. I
brewing
appreciate.
Anyway, I've spoken to a few sensible entertainers.
Oh yeah.
And we've had discussions, and very soon you're going to get the announcement.
Yeah.
You know,
before you go.
Engage. Yeah.
Okay, before you go, Michael wanted you to talk about the bill.
Oh, bill. Yeah, I've mentioned it. I said the bill, the police reform bill.
You said number one. You did,
number one, accountability and transparency. Number two, the protection of the fundamental human rights according to the African Charter and all other NGOs and investigation private sector organizations that we have. You know, just like ours now, the law mandates the police to work with us because they need to win trust. They cannot police a society without trusting the society or without the society trusting them. So those are the fundamental aspects of the law. You know, so and I said, for the first time in the history of this country, this is a bill that was actually brought about by the people themselves. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, in the history of the 90-year history of Nigerian police, they now have a bill that mandates them, okay, to be accountable and transparent. In other words, we want to know your budget. We want to know how much you spent. We want to know what you spent it on. We want to know the contractors that actually took the contract. You can do a Freedom of Information Act. You know, you can begin to question them. Before now, they say it's security thing, you cannot know. But now they are mandated to do it. Also, fundamental human right. If a police officer slaps you, okay, he has lost the right to prosecute that case. That case is gone. You are now in the position to sue that police officer for battery under all the laws that I've read, it can be Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. It can be Anti-Torture Act of 2017. It can be ACTA. It can be anything. You can even sue him on each of the laws, Steph, on each of the provision. And we already have. You can't say I don't have money. We already have lawyers who are willing to help you. We can assign 4 lawyers to you just to make an example of that police officer. Also, right now, the arresting officer is not the prosecuting officer. If I arrest somebody, for example, before you arrest somebody, you have to tell the person, you have to read the person his Miranda warning. You know,
of course, yeah, you know, yeah.
How many Kasalis and Rafus on the street carrying bullets and pointing it at themselves, guns and pointing at themselves, will be able to know what Miranda is. So, which is why I'm saying you need to shut down some units of the police for spiritual maintenance. You need to shut them down for re-engagement into the system. And also re-evaluation, then standard operating procedure of your operations need to reflect the new law. And I'm sure a lot of things need to happen. But again, we're still engaging. I have a lot of people within our institution who are in Abuja right now, who are engaging the authorities, the legislature, and the IG himself, letting him understand some things that probably they have shielded him from. You see, it's always like this. Idris too was like this. He wasn't hearing anything until the inner caucus called us to a meeting. So when we now discuss what was happening, they were holding their head. So you people meant so well for us. We're sorry, we apologize, this and that, and that. And that was how that protocol came. But a new ID came, just like I said, there will always be a pharaoh who doesn't know the importance.
A pharaoh that doesn't know, yeah.
So at the end of the day, they will do what they will do. But you cannot relent. You have to continue to push until you get what you want. So there's a lot to give. And I can say that police bill is one of the best things that can ever happen to the citizens of this country. They must not be dissuaded about anything. If there's anything that we need to adjust in the bill, we can do that one. We can always easily go to the Supreme Court, seek interpretation, knock off some things, add some things, and then amend it. It can easily be done. But the major thing is having a bill that protects you from the madness out there.
Wow. But you said something really key at the beginning of your conversation. You said that it is a culture. It is a system. So how easy is it going to be to implement the bill? Because
they are not the one implementing the bill.
No, you.
Okay.
No, what I'm saying is, what I mean is, now you're fighting as like what's going on in America. Everybody is saying Black Lives Matter. It's not because it's a systemic problem. So people are going out to say, listen, this is a systemic problem and we're all going to speak about it. What structure are you putting in place to ensure that all these people at the top, because you mentioned few good ones, because it takes only one powerful or guy at the top to just say cancel and that's it.
No, see, that's why we have legislation. With the laws we have now, especially the police bill, the Police Act 2020, there's no Oga at the top anymore. It's about the rule of law. You understand?
Okay.
It's about the rule of law and it's about what the law says. You are a police officer or you're a police unit in a country. That means you're upholding law and order.
You're supposed to uphold law and order.
No, you are supposed to. Yeah, now you have. This is the police bill, mind you. Before they can get away with it. Before, if they go to court, they will get away with it because the Police Act of 1943, before my grandmothers were born, gave them the power to do unto you as they please.
Do and undo.
Rulership. You understand? They are protecting the rulers from the rulee or from the people that they're ruling over. But now, the bill has mandated them to serve me. So I can look at the IG and say, I demand this particular report. Write a petition and go to town with it. They are all shackled by public opinion. You understand? So public perception. Why do you think they are calling Naramali to come and do Instagram Live?
Propaganda.
If they call Sega, they will be bleeding on the screen.
They won't even call you a rugged man, besides, for what?
And besides, the networks are there. I have had interviews in about 20 different networks between Sunday and today. So they can't see, if I decide to fight the police, they can't survive it. They are not enough. So I'm not fighting them. I'm saying, my tweet alone is enough. I can tweet from my bed and the world will scatter. You understand? But I am not fighting anybody. It's not even in my character to fight. It's about bringing out superior arguments, saying, this is the culture you're used to. This is a new culture. This is how it benefits you. I see where you're coming from. I understand your pain. I'm ready to fly that flag for you. I'm ready to help you achieve your vision and aim. I'm ready to even monitor it and raise more people who will understand what is at stake and carry it on, even if I get sick. But at the same time, you need to do something in return. You need to be patriotic. You need to understand that you're on a career path. And you need to understand where you are now. You see, one thing I don't really appreciate about Nigerians is this. You see, they said, when the stomach is hungry, it doesn't know or remember how it feels to be full. When the stomach is full and you are full, you have eaten. Today, God, I have eaten, I can't even breathe. When you hear hunger, you be wondering what's the meaning of hunger. Your brain can't simulate
process
hunger.
it.
When your body is full, you can't process it because where you are now is in a place of abundance. You can't imagine how not to have. That's the way God designed us. I think maybe it is the animalistic nature of man. And that's exactly what's happening to people who are in position. They don't see things from your perspective again.
They don't remember, yes.
For a bridge to connect them to their conscience, to reintroduce them to their humanity. And that's precisely what we're doing.
Wow. Segalink, everybody. Thank you so much. We went for almost an hour from 5 minutes.
We have done 9. I think I did 6 hours with Dele Momodu one time like that. I didn't believe it.
Wow.
And we didn't even talk about it.
You can't finish talking. You can't finish talking. These are problems that we just can only pray and hope that, these things that are in your heart can be, implemented, because that the concept of change is really, really difficult. That if I'm lying down, I tell you, Uncle Shegun, please wake me up at 7 a.m. If you come in, it was me who told you to wake me up. If you come into my room, a dark room where I'm sleeping cozy, and you turn on the lights and draw the drips, it is me that will tell you, stop. You will be telling me, but you have a meeting, because you see that change thing is, people like to ease into it. That drastic, instant change, it makes people, especially people that have been gaining something.
Yeah.
All the while.
We started with legislation. We started a long time ago. See, we always tell our youth that there's no microwave in this. You can't say because I'm Generation Z, everything must happen spontaneously. Sega you're seeing today did not become Sega because he just found Twitter. I've been on Twitter for 10 years. Most of those years, I was just talking to myself. I was just tweeting to myself, no likes, no whatever. I'm not doing it for that. I was using it as my own diary. Talking to myself. Just like some people sing in the bedroom. That's exactly how I write out my thoughts. For me to read it over again and remember what I was thinking this time last year. And it helps me to see whether I've improved or I have not. To see the shifting of my school of thought. And of course, it helps me also build consistency and to also reveal my deep conviction over time. So it was a training ground for me. I never knew people were listening. I never knew people were there. I just started seeing that followers were growing. I have never in my life slipped into people's DM to ask for, please help me retweet. Please, can you like? Please, can you comment? I've never done it before. Or, can you kindly follow this handle? No. Because I know that sometimes, and I learned this from music. When I was a DJ, well, I'm still a DJ. When I was a gospel DJ,
You were a DJ?
Yes, now I'm sure you must have bought my Project X CD before, So I'll show you the So then I used to make mixes for myself. So any mix that I can drive with, I can do Grand Prix with, I can enjoy for myself. I realized that when people listen to it, they don't return it. They say, man, in fact, that compilation is just bad. So I started doing a lot of them. Till today, people still ask me, can I have Survivor Series? Can I have African Praise? Can I have Favorites? Can I have this? All the titles, about 30 titles. I know people who will say, I want one box of so-so titles. I want one box of so-so. It was when this corporate commission or something, there's these people that will normally pay for all this compilation that we do. Not for Nigerian stuff, but for foreign. When we saw that they were not accountable to the money that we were paying them, I just canceled everything. Now it's on iTunes. If you go to iTunes and you look at Sega's radio and Sega stuff, you see all those lists there. Gospel compilation and the rest. That follows in the way that your heart will be pleased to worship God and to praise God. And whether it's rap, whether it's everything and all, it's there. So it was from there that I learned how to actually put things together that people will see, appreciate, and then be one with. And look at the way our advocacy have been running. We didn't force anybody to join it. We didn't beg anybody to climb on top of the whole thing. Today, musicians are singing about it. People are changing their names to the thing. People are wearing uniforms and clothes and designing stuff about, and that's the idea. Anything you have that does not benefit the world. They say, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, Jesus Christ. You have to give something that hurts you. And when you do, it comes back
sacrifice.
To you.
Yes.
So it's not all about, I want to gain, I want to be popular, I want to be what. All those things are ephemeral. Look at things that are ethereal, things that will be there regardless
forever.
If you jump in America, if you jump in the US, you will come down. What goes up comes
gravity.
down. Whether you like it or not, be keeping malice with Newton. Be keeping malice with Newton's family. It's
a natural law.
To be liked. It's a natural law. So what we are laying down, the foundation that we have laid down now, we will ensure that it is implemented. But with this foundation, we know that we have done something that our children will pray for us for. And that is fundamental. Under normal circumstances, most visions, they are truncated at foundation level.
Yes.
Petroleum industry governance bill, they have not approved it tomorrow. They started that bill before we started End Sars. That bill is still there till date because people who are benefiting and stealing from our oil resources don't want it to happen. So probably if there is a way in which they can use this kind of model to get them to sign, you can't unsign a bill. You can't cancel a bill when it becomes law. It is the law of the land. The best you can do is to ensure that they enforce it. And that is easy.
Will they sign it though?
Which one? They signed
bill.
The law.
They signed the law.
Police. Yes, it's the law. As in the bill has been signed. Police reform bill. It has been signed about 3 weeks ago. The first one was signed last year. I have all the signed documents. I put it on my Twitter. It's out there. It's been signed. So Nigerians are free from this oppression. That's why we're telling them we need to see all this for your pronouncement. We need to see it translate to something. If not, there's no going. We are not taking any reform from any bloody person. Shut them down immediately.
Shut it down.
And they can't go abroad. And if we go to court on this matter, of course, we don't even need to go to court. They will shut them down. They don't have a choice because we're not backing down.
They're not backing down. Aluta continua.
Yes,
Victoria
It's not just any aluta of misspelled signs. These are strategic aluta that they won't breathe, they won't sleep. If they sleep, they'll see us in their dreams. Where they can't use their gas.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for coming to BOUQUI'S Place, even though this is not your own interview. Your own is special. We already talked about it, but thank you so much for shedding light on this so that we are, informed. There are a lot of people in the diaspora that don't even know what's going on, but you've said a lot of things. You've shed a lot of light, and we just want to say thank you for stopping by. God bless you. God bless you. And for everything you do, can I get 500? Thank you, Segalink. Let's just appreciate how do you fund is it here? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
How do you fund this thing, just in case someone is listening and saying, I want to be a blessing to this? How can I contribute? Is there a place that people can contribute or fund or something?
There's a place you can go to Ruby's Bank. When you get to Ruby's Bank, you see donate. There's a rubysng.com. Okay, do I send the link?
So can you post? Just say it. Let me pin it.
I think our COVID
type it. Let me just pin it. Can you type it? Let me pin it.
Okay. All right.
Type it and then I'll pin it, because some people might be in the diaspora and they'll be like, I just want to be a blessing to this and all that.
Okay, let me look for it. I see. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, we'll pin it. I see some people from New York. They're like, pin it. Yes. Because if that's the only way that we can contribute our own, quota. Man, thank you guys for sticking with us. It's BOUQUI'S Place, and we have the great Segalink online, and we're talking about End Sars. We're talking about the things that directly affect us as citizens, whether we're home or abroad. Yes, I will save the video after this. Yes, save it. We can support. Yeah, I'll pin it. I'll pin it so that you can support. Yes, yes.
6.
And God bless you. Every dime, nothing is too small. $1 is, how much is $1 now?
It's a 4
something. So $1 is 4.75 or something.
Yeah.
Thereabout. Yes.
Thereabout.
Yeah. So if you give $10, you know, this is not GoFundMe for a housemate. This is something that can benefit your children's children, children's children. Once he puts it up there, I would pin it so that we can contribute. Yeah, 470. So if you give $10, that's 4,000. You know, that's something. If you give $20, that's nothing. $100, you know, that's something that can go a long way. You know, and he has said some things here tonight. You know, he talked about, is he online? Is Mr. Deji Adeyanju online? Someone said, please bring him. Is he online? No, if it's not, I will. Yeah. He's talked about, he said, I'm not doing it for the fame. I'm not doing it for the money. Someone that is naked can never be stripped. And you know, BOUQUI'S place is about practical tools that you can use to do destiny.
Okay,
this is not about the candy or the floss and things that don't matter, you know. So he said that he already, I'm trying to see it. Where is it?
I just sent it to you.
My thing is not even going anymore. Okay, yeah, there you go.
Have you seen it?
I can't see it. Okay, wait.
CF.
Where, maybe I'm scrolling. Okay, there you go. Pin. Okay. Yes, please. Whatever it is not too small. $100, dollars, 200. Let us do this for our children's children. The Bible says a good man leaves a good inheritance for his children's children. You know, you might not be able to go to the front line like a lot of other people, but you can drop $1. You can drop $10, $20. And this is basically for people in the diaspora, you know. So thank you so much. I'm going to leave that pinned on. And they said that Mr. Deji is online.
Okay.
Deji, where is he?
Deji Adeyanju is another wonderful person.
Let me.
Do you know that Deji actually sponsored our first outing in terms of the first ever rally that we're going to have in Abuja? Deji was the one that printed all the banners. There was a protest all over Nigeria for that day. He designed all the banners, designed all the stuff. I traveled all the way from here to Abuja, from Lagos to Abuja. He was already ready on the field. We have our first.
Wow. Mr. JG, please, I'm calling you. Please. I can hear you. Go ahead.
BBC, CNN, the video you see where we are behind the banner and all, it was Deji that sponsored everything. It was Deji that designed the whole thing. Deji has been with me since 2013. We've been working together since 2013. You know, so these are people, these are patriots. If you are talking about protests and all, nobody does it better than Deji. You understand? And he will spend his own resources. This is the same Deji that he will be jailing here and there for nothing. And people people will be insulting all over the
place. Hello.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. I mean, it wasn't planned or anything, but when it comes to crises like this, we all come together to, you know, make a change. So thank you so much for joining. Yes.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Sega has been talking about the bill. He's been talking about the police brutality and all that stuff. And I want you to lend your voice to this. What is going on? What can be done to fix it? What structure are we putting in place to ensure that this doesn't continue, you know? And just to, especially for people in the diaspora, they don't really know what's going on, but they want to be involved. How is it possible, and what do we have to do?
Well, let me start by saying that Sega is just extraordinary. Yes. Like I always say, he doesn't behave or act like a human being. He, you know, he's in the realm of the supernatural, you know, and we just genuinely, sincerely appreciate him.
Yes.
You know, and like I always tell him in private that this generation is blessed to have him.
Yes.
You know, and that I always tell him to ignore the naysayers, you know, and focus on the goal. That has been what I believe has been driving him. And you know, nothing can be too big for the sacrifices that we can use to complement all that him and his team are doing.
Yeah.
You know, Prof, like I always call him, he knows he has my undying support and unalloyed support. I'm always here for him, and I want to urge other Nigerians to also try their best to see how they can support the great job that Sega and his team are doing. You know, however, you know, there's something that we always get wrong as Nigerians. You know, activism is not the exclusive preserve of anybody. You know, it's not the, you can't say, oh, Sega is the activist, Deji, they are the activist, Shawara is the activist, Shehu Sani is activist, this person is activist. Everybody should be an activist. If you're a preacher, you should be an activist. Besides, Martin Luther King Jr. was a preacher, but he used the gospel to change the face of the world. He used his never dying spirit. He used his dreams. He sacrificed his life for the betterment of the world. You know, so our focus, our emphasis in life, if you're a preacher, you should be an activist. If you're a market woman, you can change the world from your market. If you are a pharmacist in a pharmacy store, you can activate, you know, and agitate for what is right. If you are a radio presenter, you know, or you're an on-air personality, or you're an actor, you know, or you are a movie producer, or you own a TV station, or you own a radio station, or you have some influence on social media, people like you who make the world a better place, that we must use all our resources, whether we be pastors, as parents, as children, as adults, as policemen and women, as people in the army, in the military, people in the Air Force, people in the Navy. So you know, we must stop getting it wrong by saying, no, activism is just for these people. No. Activism is not for, activism is for everybody. Because if I open my dictionary and I give you the definition of who an activist is, then you realize that an activist is just someone who wants, you know, things to be done right. If something is wrong with the social, political, economic, he wants things to be fixed. And if things are fixed, it's the country that benefits. It's the world that becomes a better place. So wherever you may be found, you know, all you need to do is to push for what is right. And that's why in the police, we need more good police officers in the police. And the great job that Sega and everybody at SEF are doing, you know, it can never be underestimated, you know. And, you know, the challenges we are facing in this country, you know, is multidimensional. And when I say it's multidimensional in the sense that while you are dealing with one, another one is happening. While you are you know, so it's just continuous. And we must also continually engage. And like I keep saying to many of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, people like you, is that you guys have the greater responsibility, because you have the benefit of hindsight. You have witnessed how communities work, how nations work. So you can appreciate when you see incompetence. You know that this things going on in the country is not right. You know that all that have become norm here should not be. I don't see why leaders see doing the right thing as if they are doing Nigerians a favor. No, you are not doing anybody a favor. If the vice president came out today and said there's multidimensional poverty in the whole country, but this same vice president, him and the president, on food, on traveling, they are spending close to 3 billion naira. So if you are spending that much money to just have fun and enjoy yourself, you can imagine us celebrating independence when the police is still harassing, arresting people for practically nothing. Look at the police. They just went and arrested a guy that posted a video of harassment and near extrajudicial killing in Delta, and they arrested the guy, and they even have the guts to do a press statement justifying the arrest. So you can imagine the kind of country where we live in. One person was killed in the United States of America. One person, and you saw the response. Americans didn't need to wait for any Naramali. Americans didn't need to wait for any Deji, any Sega. Americans, they were on the street the next day, and they were on the street for months, even during the pandemic. So you look at issues, and this is a country where almost everything works. In our own case, nothing works. It's not just that nothing works, everything works against us here. So if our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, you are more affected because the more things get bad here, the more people will disturb you for you to send your account number, the account numbers, and the more you send and spend home. So it is advisable, because I don't see the boundaries with the diaspora. I don't see the boundaries at all. All I see is that these guys are literally, they are here with us, and that we are in the same boat together. And for me, what I tell the diaspora is very simple: that you have the greater responsibility, because preaching to the diaspora is like preaching to the choir. You already know what the issues are, so it's easier to tell the diaspora that a country should naturally work. It's a country where the president is celebrating independence, but he goes to London to go to hospital. A country where the president went and is giving speech, praising himself, celebrating independence, but this is the same man. His children, they don't school here. None of his children school here. His wife had, is it a neck pain or something? The wife went to Dubai. These are public officials. They are not private citizens. And they are doing these things with taxpayers' money. They travel in presidential jets. A country where you say you don't want to subsidize the poor, but you have 11 presidential jets that carry people that stuff dollar in their pockets to go and supervise an election. So you look at it critically, you say the indices of progress is not visible in this country. And if the indices of progress is not visible, then it means that we are getting everything wrong, and that the only way we can get things right. Take the police, for instance. Nothing can work in the polity of our country without the police. Elections are taking place in Ondo on Saturday. The police are needed. So if you don't have a well-equipped, well-trained police force, elections will naturally be compromised. So, and that's why when we see things that people like Sega and others are doing, we must, even if we cannot do it, because I can't do some of the things that Sega is doing. I'm in a different field and tough entirely. So I can't do it, and I understand that I can't do this. So when I see Sega doing it, I'm just amazed. I'm genuinely, there was a day that I called Sega at 2:30 a.m. in the morning. Some people were arrested in Lagos. They were just about extorting them. And I called Sega. You can imagine someone not sleeping. And I called Sega, and his voice was so sharp. And I said, Prof, you're not sleeping. I got this distress call, and I said, let me just reach you. I said, let me just try you. I was not even optimistic that you pick. He said, my brother, I'm still awake. I'm here. And in 10 minutes, the issue was resolved. In 10 minutes. This is what Sega has been doing for years. For years. Solving problems. And you see, the irony of it all is that the people even trust Sega more than they trust the police. That's just the irony of it all. So you discover that he has become the bridge. And if we have institutions, if we have a country that works for all, you will see that the institutions, they celebrate people like Sega. People making selfless sacrifices. Selfless. Not because you ask, what do I want that I don't have? I have almost everything. What does Sega want that he doesn't have? He has almost everything. So why will a Sega put himself in the line of fire?
In harm's way.
To do what? If I want any recognition, I want benefits, I'll go and join a political party. I have enough money, I'll go and buy their nomination form, I'll contest for an election, win, go to House of Reps or Senate, and I'll go, because I will go and be relevant there. So sometimes the people need to realize that the greatest way, and And we cannot all just keep quiet and say, oh, Sega will do it. Oh, Deji will do it. Oh, Shawara will. No. We need to replicate plenty Segas. We need to have plenty Segas all over the country. We need to have a Sega in my local government, a Sega in Kogi, a Sega in Delta, in Adamawa. So you need to support, the people need to support people like Sega so that they can replicate. They can replicate many people like him. So that everywhere in Kogi, there's a problem. They know that, we cannot be disturbing Sega all the time. There's somebody in Kogi who we can reach out to. You know, so for us, you know, there's just something driving us that is beyond our control. Many a times we are discouraged. We will feel like stopping. But I wake up, sometimes I say, I'm not going to talk again. It's like the people are not serious. The people are not ready. The people are not willing. Look at what is happening. Throughout the pandemic, I have monitored everything going on in America. I saw how people were crowdfunding the Black Lives Matter movement. People practically were donating millions to the Black Lives Matter movement. And they sustained the advocacy for Black Lives Matter for months. You know? So I look at what is going on in America vis-a-vis what is going on here, and I ask myself, why are we really killing ourselves? It's not as if I fall sick now, I can go abroad to go and get treatment. I can go to anywhere in the world. I can decide to relocate to America tomorrow. I'll be fine. So even if this country is not working, I can decide to pack my bag and leave. You know, I can decide to do practically anything I want to do. You understand? If there's no light, I can run my generator for the next 1 year. You know, I'm not bothered. You know, in as long as my businesses are moving. So you look at it critically, you tell yourself, sometimes you ask yourself, why am I doing these things? And you don't even have an answer. Because you wake up, you said yesterday that you're not going to be involved again. You wake up this morning and you see something going wrong and you just cannot resist the urge to say something. You just find yourself talking.
Passion.
You are just irritated at, imagine I came online, I was studying for a test, I came online, and I saw that they arrested a guy that posted a video of the human rights violation in Delta. And I didn't even know when I started tweeting. Because this is just like a reflex action. Yes. You know, so because I was genuinely angry. Imagine somebody that is being paid with taxpayers' money. One perpetually drunk woman that they appointed as SA WhatsApp to Buhari, insulting Wizkid. Wizkid that is making demand for the benefit of all of us. She's insulting him. So imagine me coming online and saying that kind of a thing and you expect me to keep quiet. How? There is blood flowing through my veins. There's no way I can keep quiet. There's no way I can keep quiet. So some of these things, some of the things that people like Sega, myself and others are doing, sometimes we just cannot explain it. We cannot explain why we are doing what we are doing. We just know that we are being propelled by some supernatural forces that is out of our control. We just find ourselves doing these things. Sometimes I want to go for a rally. My mother will call me. My family members will call me. Don't go. Why will you do this? Nigerians are not worth it. Blah, 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 blah. And we receive the calls just like normal people who refuse to go out. Maybe some of them, their parents call them. We also receive the calls. But we've reached the point where we tell ourselves, we say, see, whether I go out, whether I don't go out, when death decides to come, death will come, irrespective of where I am. So once citizens, because Nigerians, everybody is almost dead in the country. A country where people sell their vote for as low as 500 naira. That's about $1.20. People sell a 4-year mandate. Yes, people sell a 4-year mandate for as low as $1.20. So that kind of a country, aren't we all dead already? So until we get to tell ourselves the truth that nothing is working, and because the country is not working, that we need to make painful sacrifices. And that's why I am genuinely disappointed in those in 2015 who promised heaven and earth, but who came and they are not doing worse than the PDP that they condemned. Because if you say Nigerians should not, if you say we should not subsidize the poor, why then should the budget increase? Under PDP, the budget, the yearly budget was around 6 trillion. Now you increase the budget to around 11 to 12 trillion naira. And you are not increasing development. You are just increasing the maintenance of politicians. So we want to continue subsidizing the rich, the politicians, but we don't want to subsidize the poor. So a situation where our law says lawmakers should legislate, right? Now our lawmakers, they don't only make laws, they also execute, because aside legislation, our lawmakers, they also have what they now call constituency projects. So for themselves, they will put constituency projects for themselves. So aside lawmaking, they are also acting as the executive. So a lawmaker will now bring a project in his constituency. Some lawmakers in a year, they get 7 billion constituency projects. One person, that money is enough to transform National Hospital if we will not steal anything. So you go to National Hospital, you discover that this place is just like a dispensary. Yes. It's not really a hospital. You go to the Aso Rock Hospital where they are spending billions. You discover that there's nothing there, the Aso Rock Clinic. So you go around the country, look at our schools. Look at our schools. Imagine putting 7 billion in Ahmadu Bello University. Look at the UK. The UK, they generate the money the UK generates from tuition fees for just universities alone is more than what we generate for selling crude oil in 4 years. The money they generate in a year. So we don't prioritize. We are not heading anywhere. A country without a plan. You say you want to present budgets. We don't even know where we're going to get the money to fund the budget. You go and borrow loan from China to come and fund your own budget. So you can see that we are not really going anywhere. And that's why I said that we are running an inshallah economy. And we are running a Konibaje economy. An economy that we're using prayer to support. There is nothing tangible. There's no plan. Since President Buhari became president, his implementation plan for the budget, Buhari has never met 29% performance for the budget. So how can we run a country? Look at Germany. Germany is a typical example. Look at COVID and Germany. You discover that Germany has a 30-year education plan. We don't even have a plan for this year we are entering. This year, we are doing it. We're just doing we are doing mago economy. You can see that nothing works in the country. So how then? I start asking myself, I said, we've traveled around the world. You go to Paris, you go to Geneva, you go to Brazil, you go to Dubai, you go to UK. We've gone around the world. We've seen that if our leaders, these countries I've mentioned, these are countries that don't have any natural resources, anything. These are countries that is just the ingenuity of the leaders, the sincerity of the leaders. Exactly, ordinary Ghana. I was in Ghana just before COVID. I was in Kigali. My sister, the first time I went to Kigali, I almost cried. I told myself, I said to myself, I said, the white man does not have 2 heads, does not have 4 legs. All that these guys are doing, and that they are just applying common logic to daily problems. So they see a problem, they provide a solution, they solve it. And that's what these guys have just been doing. And I said, how difficult can this be to just apply common knowledge, common logic, common reasoning to simple problems? So our problems are not spiritual. We don't need to pray our way out of it. Our problems are leadership inclined. Until we find the right leaders, until citizens as well, live up to their responsibilities. Because leaders, I have discovered that The reason why African leaders don't live up to their responsibility is because citizens also don't live up to their responsibility. As a citizen, it is your responsibility to put leaders on their toes, which is what people like Sega, myself, and others are doing. If you see something wrong, don't say, oh, this person is an elder, therefore I should not challenge them. No! Those that want to be elders, they should go home, stay at home, stay with their children, so that their children will be lying down to greet them every morning and every evening, and their children will be respecting them. But once you come, once you enter into the arena, you descend into the arena, you should expect criticism, you should expect dissent, you should expect citizens to challenge you, because logic and reasoning demands that if something is not right, if something is wrong, the citizens should ask, why is this road bad? This road was bad 4 years ago. Why is this still bad now? This hospital was bad 4 years ago. Why is this still bad now? So these are simple common sense. It has nothing to do with whether this person disrespects an elder or this person is confronted. No. People just want to have good roads, good hospitals, good schools. How can our president, how can he say that fuel price is cheaper in Saudi Arabia than in Nigeria? So does he know the purchasing power?
Yes.
Yeah, the purchasing power in Saudi Arabia, does he know what it is? Does he know the condition of citizens in Saudi Arabia? Housing, healthcare, health insurance, and other form of social security in Saudi Arabia. Can he compare it with? So you can imagine. So he's living large. Members of his immediate family are living large. Everybody in government, they are living large. So they can afford fuel. So they cannot understand why it will cost somebody, to cost a poor man, just to have 10 liters fuel in his car. Somebody that is a cab man, you have 10 liters fuel and you now have to pay 1,600 naira for just 10 liter fuel. And he's a cab man. When the cab man finishes driving, how much profit will he make? How much will he now charge the passengers? How much will he charge the passengers? So these are just the critical issues that as Nigerians, the citizens must engage, the doctrine of reasoning. It's not see, and Nigerians are not asking for the extraordinary. Nigerians don't want to go to space. They don't want to go to moon. Nigerians are not asking for, inordinable things. Nigerians are not asking for scientifics. Nigerians don't want science fiction. Nigerians don't want to, they're not even asking for kinetic stuff, kinetic energy or dynamics of physics. Nigerians are just asking that we don't want to die. Don't allow SARS. Yes, don't allow SARS to kill us. Let us be able to move from point A to point B. And that is too much to ask. You ban SARS for this 4th time. You're banning SARS in 3 years. And now you ban SARS again. And you expect Nigerians, people who their thinking faculty is working, you expect them to believe you. There's no way anybody who is reasonable will believe that the ban on SARS, is going to be tenable, because these guys are going to be back on the street again shortly. So for me, I just came online to support Sega. I didn't even know that we'll be having this engagement. My goal was just to come and support my friend and my brother, Segun Awosonyi. And for me, in any way that we can support, Prof knows that we are always available, and I urge and appeal to all other Nigerians and everybody to please, join hands to support my brother and my friend.
Wow, thank you so much. I have questions in my head, but I don't want to keep you longer than, But what do you think? Because you said it's about engagement, and how can the citizens engage? Because Ruggedman came and said, whatever platform you have, tweet at them, talk at them, and all that. They've been doing that for years. In your opinion, what do you think it will be the most effective way of letting them see that we're tired, and once we're tired and we're pushed to the wall, if we start to bite and bark, don't be angry? What is the most effective way? Because obviously we've tried social media, we've tried everything else. There's even a bill that they just signed and everything. Is there a way that we can reach them directly?
you see the language that these guys understand is confrontation.
Confrontation.
Protest is the most potent force world over. Protest ended slavery. It ended black segregation. It ended apartheid. Protesters, brought to an end evil regimes, wicked tyrants all over the world. And if you look at the history of the American civil rights movement, one thing has always been consistent all over the world, generally, whether it be from the time of Mahatma Gandhi to Martin Luther to John Lewis and everybody, to Mandela. One thing has always been consistent, that you see, they don't respect petitions. They don't respect engagements. They don't respect town halls. They don't because again, they don't even respect phone calls. They don't respect that one-on-one engagement, because they look down at you they are in a position that they are at a vantage position. So they look down on you. So when you feel the streets, they see that they are caged, that they must negotiate quickly, that they must find a quick way. If Nigerians come out in thousands tomorrow, next week, next month, because they know that you make this noise on social media, after some time you give up and you move on. Look at the Americans, what they did, Black Lives Matter. It has sent a strong message to the oppressors. It has sent a strong message that if you do it again, the next one is going to be worse. So the reason why, let me just, digress a little bit and say, the reason why people obey the law is the threat of sanction. That's why people obey the law. If there is no consequence for bad behavior, people will continue to misbehave. So the reason why leaders are afraid of shutdown when there's protest is because they know that if they are not careful, that it may lead to something else. So they quickly take correction. So protests remain the main way, the most fundamental way of driving societal change. So for me, my view has always been, let the people protest, and let them protest so that their voice is loud and clear enough, so that the oppressors can hear that enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Wow. I remember when I was in Nigeria one time, there was this rally. I'm just trying to piggyback on what you're talking about, because I've seen protests, but it's just the consistency of it that doesn't get it. You know what a breakthrough is? When it breaks through, not just you pour small water until it breaks through. I remember we were going to that Ikeja place, and then I even had to sing there. I can't remember. It was something that mass protest, and we were going to that Ikeja garden, something and all that. And it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It didn't lead anywhere. We just did it for like a week or two, and that was it. Could that be why people are so reluctant to say, you know what? I'm not trying to get into this, that they'll shoot me and all that. Because it could be that there's some people that are being settled in the back. They do the protest for 1 week, 2 weeks, and what do you think about,
you see, no government or regime in the world, not even a military regime, can attack 100,000 people's protest. But of course, they will attack a 100-man protest, 200, 500, they will even 1,000, 5,000, they will attack. But when you are in thousands, no regime in the world, we've seen it happen all over the world, and how effective it is. So, and it doesn't have to be for a month, for 2 months. All that is important is that it is effective, it is properly done, and it is people-driven. Once it is people-driven, if the Nigerian people say they want to come out to protest, how will anybody go and hijack the protest or sell out? Is it a labor protest? It's not a labor. It's not an organization-based protest. It will not be a Sega protest. Not be a Deji Adeyanju. The Nigerian people have decided that they've had enough. They are coming out to say no more. That they want an end to SARS. They want an end to all the killing, all the extrajudicial mechanism that SARS apply. So until we reach that place as a people, then we'll continue to debate these issues that Awolowo debated, that Wole Soyinka, because these issues have always been with us. Nothing has really changed. Things have only gotten worse. When the colonial masters were here, the railways were working, our schools were working, the roads were good. But today, we claim that we have freedom. But look at everywhere is messed up. Everywhere there's widespread corruption everywhere. So the same people that made the demands then, when we engage some of them, they tell us that the issues that we were fighting for are still the ones that you people too are saying. It's the same thing that you guys are saying. So for me, I believe that we just need to continue to enlighten the people and talk to them and galvanize them and see whether the people will react. Because I have been looking, I've been thinking as well. When will the breaking point of Nigerians, when will it be? That you say that Nigerians will say they've had enough. And just enough. that spark. So I've been thinking, I've also been praying about it. So for me, my view is that protest will do it. Protest will really do it.
Protest en masse, not just small trickles, not just little bonfire, like a real big bonfire.
Absolutely.
Wow. Because when you said, before you got to the last part of the breaking point, when you said something about when like enough is enough, I wanted to say, isn't enough already? I mean, like, it is enough, but then you now said you're waiting to see that breaking point, when it finally culminates and then it breaks. So maybe that's why everything is just happening, so that there is a breaking point. And I really think we're near that tipping edge, because this cannot be, we cannot allow this generation to go and then the next generation inherit the same problems that our fathers fought, So, yeah, wow.
If anybody had told you some 10 years ago or 15 years ago that some Nigerians somewhere in the north, that they would tie bomb on their waist and blow themselves up, nobody will have believed it. Nobody. In the name of something that they believe in, whether religion, whether this, whether... If anybody had told you that Boko Haram people, young men and women, will join Boko Haram, tie bombs on their waist and blow themselves up in the north, about 20 years ago, nobody will have believed. Because look at how the leaders have underdeveloped the north. Look at how our leaders have underdeveloped our country. Do you understand? So for now, the leaders, people, this SARS thing that they are joking and playing with, they do not understand the consequences of their actions. So they are joking with it, playing with it. They do not know that they are sitting on the keg of gunpowder. So so the signs are obvious that we are heading in the wrong direction, and that we're heading towards a crash. But many of them are not allowing reason to prevail. Despite all the cries daily that you see online, and you see all kinds of abuses, rights violations, and all degrading treatments that we see on a daily basis, these guys, they just turn a deaf ear, complete deaf ear to everything going on. However, let's not lose hope and let's not lose focus that it's always darkest before it is dawn. And for me, I am an eternal optimist. I'm an eternal optimist because I believe that the American situation was worse than it was here. Look at all the struggle for liberation in America. Whether it be against slavery, against segregation, and everything. Look at what South Africa passed through. For me, I believe, I genuinely and sincerely believe that yes, many might have given up on the country. However, I believe that there's something is going to happen that will lead to that spark. And it may be this SARS thing. We just may not be able to tell.
We just may not be able to tell. This is the tipping point, and I pray that something happens soon. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. I'll follow you at whatever we can do to keep this moving. Obviously and definitely we will lend our voice. So thank you so much. God bless you. God bless you so much.
God bless you, Sega. God bless you, my sister. God bless everybody. Thank you. Good night.
All right. Thank you. Good night.